Remember that Zionist cheese girl? She's kind of on podcast. Yeah, I saw. It's awesome. All right, let's blast off and let's get it started, okay? Trump failed assassination attempt redux. Suspect ID'd. How will Republicans cry about this now? Oh yeah. Yemen rocket hits Israel. That's another big one. Yemen rocket hits Israel. JD Vance admits to lying about migrants for attention. NYPD shoots everyone over $2.90. Fare evasion. Yemen rocket hits Israel, and I take down the hardest boss of Wukong. In now. Twitch.tv/Hasanabi. The Amazon, please, I beg you, stop. Stop. I'm back on Monday. And the first thing that happens is everyone, much like Northern Lion said, everything over the weekend, you're like, he didn't get to these stories, and I need you to get to these stories immediately. No. The answer is no. I don't know if Misinformation Nation is going to be live today. Okay? What is this? You as a cowboy? Aw, this is sick. Beautiful horse. Any idea when the CNN rescheduling will happen? I don't know. I will not be interviewing, I don't think, Aishinur's sister today. I reached out to her. I haven't gotten back. She has not responded yet, partially because I think they might still be in Turkey. So there's a time difference. So I will figure that out sometime this week, hopefully before I go for TwitchCon. Okay? Anyway, let's get to it. We are live and alive, blasting off. We are letting the people know that we are live and alive. Okay? Here it is. TwitchCon is so soon. I think it's like this week. End of this week, I think, right? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's this Friday, which is crazy. There are Pinkertons at Columbia University. I saw that. What do you mean I think, bro? It's your job? Dog, are you up to date on everything that's going on with your job? How are you going to be like, wow, dude, you don't know when this thing is happening with your job? You don't know. You don't know half the shit that happens either. You just find out that morning sometimes. Okay? Don't act like you know everything that's going to happen this week at your job. They probably told you multiple times. You weren't paying attention. Yeah, exactly. It's normal to not know, okay? It's very normal to not know. Don't even start with this. Content for later. Trump live on Twitter Spaces at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Oh my Lord. Join me live from Mar-a-Lago. He's doing it. He's doing the dang thing. Nah, you didn't play the Mexican song? I did yesterday. Yes, I know that the editor-in-chief of National Review said the N-word. Calm down. I know. I am aware, okay? Holy shit, y'all are out of control today. It's like, it's as though I didn't cover the news non-fucking stop this entire weekend. I did. Yesterday was supposed to be fun day, and half the shit that we talked about yesterday was just, like, yesterday was supposed to be fun day, and we didn't even do it. We just did the assassination, and we're going to do it again today. Okay, MSNBC stealing your Gaza takes bar for bar.
As this week's debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump was, less than...
I mean, this is like the C team. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but like this personally will not change discourse. Oh my God! Everyone keeps ripping the fucking the National Review. Okay, I know, dude. I know, chat. Please stop. Please, I know the guy said the N-word. I know. This guy won't shut the fuck up about Javion McGee being lynched. Stop. Okay? Stop. Everybody, stop. I am not going to cover what you want me to cover right now. Okay? I am going to cover what I want to cover right now. Please. Everybody fucking calm down. Okay? What is going on today? Am I crazy? Or is chat just like extra wild today? What's happening? Maybe I'm the one who's hyper focusing on chatters. Maybe it's not as overwhelming, but it it certainly feels as though it is overwhelming today for some weird reason. Everybody calm down. We're going to get to everything. Okay? You have the zoomies right now. You're behaving like Kaya when she gets riled up. And to all of you, I say place, okay? So you calm the fuck down. Stop winding up the dog. She's passed the fuck out.
Finally, he said something to the effect of, look, if we have to create stories in order to bring attention to what's happening, the media, he admits they made it up, right? As opposed to, and if you listen to the full clip, he says, by drawing attention to what's happening on the ground, it's just, as this
like
line goes online, you don't hate the media enough. Go ahead.
You remember Alternative Facts with Kellyanne? They did the same thing. She wasn't saying you make up fictions and pretend they're facts. You bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese.
Okay, I get why people were trying to get me to watch this clip. Oh my God. That was that. Bro, run it back. Okay, guys, he just says the N-word. He 100% says migrants, not the N-word. That was insane. Okay? No, he says the N-word. I think he says the N-word.
You bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking.
No, he says it. Oh, no. Oh, hell nah. He says it. Normally, in a situation like this, maybe he meant immigrants. No, he says it. And he said it like that was a rapid action moment. Like he failed the QTE, you know what I mean? He just fucking went boop. It's an M. That shit, he just let it rip, dude. Slow it down to 0.5 here.
Recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrant.
I know what chatters are saying, that he misspoke. Nah, he said it. He fucking dropped that shit in there, dude.
Complain about Haitian migrants.
Bro, I have never in 32 years misspoke and said a slur. No, if you are a public speaker and you speak a lot, okay, there absolutely will be moments where you like say something that kind of sounds like a slur, okay? For sure. Like it happens all the time. It's like it was such a common thing that like LSF literally actually banned it. That's how common it is, especially if you're talking for like 8 hours a day. It's also common to say the other thing openly with your full chest when you're a gamer with a hard R. But what ended up happening in this situation, and the most charitable I can be, is that it absolutely is a thing that he says, okay? It's absolutely a thing that he thinks. This is the National Review editor-in-chief, okay? I mean, he writes it out without saying the actual word on a regular basis. This is a right-wing publication that if we were to look at, like, here, let's look at National Review Haitian. Real scandal in Springfield, Ohio. The cats and dogs may be safe and sound, but it's not all right in like the National Review is basically saying the N-word, but taking the long way to say it on a daily fucking basis. Most right-wing publications already do this. National Review is one of the worst, okay? I love that this is Rich fucking Lowry. This dude used to be a favorite on NPR as a sane Republican. Yeah. So in the most charitable way, I will say I think in the most charitable way, yes, fight anti-white racism. It should be indeed a Trump priority. Anyway, the way he let that rip, Okay, why are people in the chat so quick to defer this racist, but Haitians and black people like myself are still getting villainized? It's called being white. Is whiteness. Okay, that's simply what it is. Okay, I'm telling you right now, he let that shit rip because it's something that he uses. So it's something that he has used in the past, that it is in his like normal setting. In this circumstance, he was trying to say immigrant potentially, and it just swapped out for the other thing. Okay? It's muscle memory. He had that shit locked in the chamber. Okay? People have issues with this, obviously, as a public speaker, myself, and as someone who's like live and speaking for hours at a time. There are certainly going to be moments that you can clip out of context and make it seem as though someone is saying something that they're not actually saying, something that they don't actually say. This is like a very there's a long storied past of this. Okay, this I think weighs on the other side. Your tripping dog is finally too charitable. No, this is on the other side of it. This is like a guy who dropped it, a guy who fucking dropped it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. He dropped that shit. He did. Let's see how Megyn Kelly responds.
Migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson in this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese. You know, they all things considered, yeah. I think people would prefer Haitian migrants to come and take the geese off the golf course, right? So it's pets, yeah. It's the cats and dogs that's become the...
That's cool. I like that. I like that for Megyn Kelly. It's like, it's a breeze. She just breezed past that, okay? She just breezed past that. It's not even a problem. Like, she just went, haha, yeah, okay. Just another Monday, you know? A lot of you wouldn't survive a COD lobby type beat, you know? That's it. That's what's going on here. Man. And by the way, just so you understand something here, okay? These people already say the N-word, but take the long way home. Saying the N-word all the time, okay? Like, him not saying it in this interview and saying it in this interview are completely irrelevant, okay? But for liberals, you just hyper focus on the optics in that moment, and you're like, oh, I can't believe he said it. It's like, dude, he could never say it for the rest of his life and write all the articles he writes about, like how, you know, black crime needs to be dealt with through violent means, like, or anti-white racism is happening, or BLM is a group of like uppity, that's a word that they use, people that are entitled and hate white people and want to kill white people. Like, there are so many different ways, because it's funny, I was talking to FD Signifier this morning for a lot longer than we were supposed to stream for, which is part of the reason why I was late. So big part of the conversation was around, you know, black issues, black culture, white culture in general, and how like white people perceive race or what white privilege is. And it's really funny that for like a lot of white people, especially, like the example I always love using is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan had phone conversations with Richard Nixon. Okay, these phone conversations were unearthed recently, like a couple of years ago, and people were shocked. Why were they shocked? They were shocked that Ronald Reagan was racist against black people. And it's like, dude, look at his fucking policies. What do you mean you're shocked that Ronald Reagan was like a massive racist? For a lot of people, they need to hear, like for a lot of white people, even white liberals in general, they need to hear someone like call, you know, African diplomats monkeys or something, which Ronald Reagan did, right? In that phone conversation, that private phone call, for them to be like, oh my God, he's racist. They have no way of analyzing like the unimaginable construct, white supremacist construct reinforcement that like white Republicans, conservatives, and even sometimes liberals engage in an effort to basically say the N-word without saying it. And white supremacy is so baked in to all of our institutions, to all of our social conditioning, that we have come up with new mechanisms and new methods of like being racist and reinforcing racist dynamics while not actually saying it. Okay. It's invisible to many people who don't want to seek it out, who don't want to understand it. And I don't even fault them for not understanding it, because like it is designed to be invisible. It is designed to be quote unquote common sense. Okay. That's it. Sometimes you don't need to hear a person, especially a person who like works at the National Review, for example, to literally say the N-word to recognize that they're fucking racist as shit. Okay? That's why people will say things like DEI, CRT, Black Lives Matter, woke. These are substitutes for the same terminology or thug. These are substitutes for the same these are substitutes for the same term, specifically just being adopted to reinforce the exact same cultural attitudes and stereotyping. Okay? That's it. That's simply it. Because the N-word is not some special magical word. It has a very specific design and very specific usage. That design and usage is to say black people are subhuman, okay? To say black people are aggressive, barbaric, subhuman. That is the design for the actual fucking word. It's to remind everyone what black people's position in society is. So when you say DEI, it's the exact same fucking shit. You're simply saying a black person actually arrived at this position that they didn't belong being in. Okay? It is to undermine a black person usually and claim that they like took the place of a much better deserving white person. That's what it is. It has a lot of baggage. It's not just a nasty word. No, of course. But the difference is I'm trying to explain even the term itself and why it has a lot of baggage, or why like this term is used, right? Rich Lowry says, yep, this is exactly what happened. I began to mispronounce the word migrants and caught myself halfway through. That's it. So when we're having a conversation about Haitians eating cats and dogs and stealing geese, that conversation, if you believe that story, is already basically the same as you saying the N-word. You don't have to say the N-word for at least me or anyone who understands the situation to immediately pick up on what the fuck you're actually saying. Okay? So wake up. Anyone that entertains the story that Haitian migrants with temporary protected status in Springfield, Ohio, or anywhere they are stealing people's pets, okay? Stealing people's dogs and cats to eat them is already literally saying the N-word, but taking the long way to say it. That's it. That's it. He didn't actually have to say the N-word here for me to be like, that's a racist guy. He's saying it every day. He's saying it every day when he's not actually saying it. Okay? Anyway, just some food for thought for people that are fused by this process. Okay? Is there really anything that separates this from blood libel? No, of course not. Absolutely not. The problem is we're already there as a society. We're there. Okay? Many people are invested in this. That's the reason why it blew up as hard as it did in a lot of the right-wing circles. It's kind of sad you have to explain this. I mean, it's like 90% of my job is specifically explaining things like this, but especially this, because, you know, it's just our culture. It is what it is. It's the unfortunate consequence of, you know, living in a white supremacist society. That's it. Just like, it's sad to hear it explained as a POC, that's for sure. Yeah, but You know, this community is very white. There's always going to be people who don't fully understand it. I don't even fault them for not fully understanding it because, once again, this is being repeated. This is the social conditioning. The society is designed for people to refuse to reckon with these sorts of structures, to take it for granted, you know? Just like the top of the hour ad break. Yes, you got it. Oh my God, you guys are so fucking annoying. Yes. At the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6, even though it's 30% off, or for free with a Twitch Prime. You can get that by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account to get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break. Now, let's get to the FBI investigating the latest assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I covered this extensively yesterday. We're obviously going to cover it again today because it's a big story. Here it is.
Back to our top story, though, for the second time in just 2 months, an assassination attempt on former President Trump. It happened at his golf course in Florida. President Biden said there's no place for political violence. Vice President Harris says she's deeply disturbed and condemned political violence. We have team coverage. Rachel Scott starts us off from West Palm Beach. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. This is the second time this is happening in just 9 weeks, and there is still one big question: how a suspected gunman was able to get this close to the former president of the United States and Republican nominee. Officials say that part of the problem is all of this shrubbery that surrounds Donald Trump's golf course. They say that once you are in it, you are essentially out of sight. That was until a Secret Service agent spotted a barrel of a rifle sticking out of the bushes.
Oh, he's live. Police are giving an update.
We're going to give you the latest updates.
I love this cop, dude. This sheriff is so funny. He just looks like an old-timey racist sheriff.
We're going to do a limited amount of questions. So make them good, right? Don't get into what if and all this. Get legitimate questions. We got it?
Hold on now.
Okay, everybody ready?
We caught the man.
Okay. We're here today.
We caught the perpetrator.
Investigation in regards to the incident at Trump International. With me is the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, and the Secret Service. Just to give you a little information, as you well know, the road down there on Summit is still blocked off. It will be blocked off probably for the remainder of today and probably a good portion of tomorrow until some of the investigative things need to be done and finished. But we're accommodating people in and out, getting them to the library, getting them to the post office, so the public is not going to be that far inconvenienced. The security level at Mar-a-Lago is the highest it can possibly be now. The road closures are back in place and will remain there. The checkpoints are in place. And my commitment to the Secret Service is to give them every possible resource from PBSO. Once they determine the level of security that they need, they will get all the resources possible. So having said that, I'll let you talk to the U.S. Attorney.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Fuck, I gotta pee.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mackenzie Lapointe. I am the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. I want to start by expressing my deep gratitude to Sheriff Rick Bradshaw of Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office for hosting today's press conference and for his department's assistance with this matter. I'm truly grateful for your leadership, sir. I'm also pleased to be joined by our partners in federal law enforcement from the FBI and the United States Secret Service, and also from ATF. Joining us today for comments and announcements are Special Agent in Charge Jeffrey B. Veltri of the FBI Miami Field Office, and Acting Director of the U.S. Secret Service, Ron Rowe. I want to also thank the men and women in law enforcement who have been working around the clock in the initial phase of this ongoing investigation. Our partners include federal and local authorities who effectuated the apprehension of the defendant and have aided in ensuring federal charges were filed against him this morning. We're here to announce that Ryan Wesley Routh, 58 years old, of Hawaii, has been charged by a criminal complaint in the Southern District of Florida with firearms offenses related to an incident which occurred yesterday at Trump International Golf Course right here in West Palm Beach. Roth was charged federally with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession and receipt of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. He had his initial appearance today before Magistrate Judge Ryan McCabe in the federal courthouse in West Palm Beach. According to the allegations in the complaint, a U.S. Secret Service agent walking the golf course perimeter saw what appeared to be a rifle poking out of the tree line.
I told you.
After the agent fired a service
told
weapon
you,
in the direction of the
motherfuckers,
rifle,
yo.
a witness saw a man later identified as Ralph.
Hey, what I tell you, dude?
Roth was later apprehended by officers
Look at his fucking
from the
charges,
Martin County
dude.
Sheriff's Office in coordination with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. The complaint alleges that in the area of the tree line from which Ralph fled, agents found a digital camera, a backpack, a loaded SKS-style rifle with a scope, and a black plastic bag containing food. The serial number on the rifle was obliterated. According to the complaint, Roth was convicted of felonies in North Carolina in December 2002 and March 2010, and therefore was prohibited from possessing a firearm. The FBI is leading.
If the NRA had any fucking credibility and any intellectual honesty, they'd defend this man.
The FBI is continuing its investigation of this incident as an assassination attempt upon the former president. The investigation remains at its early stages. The entire Justice Department, including the FBI, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida, and the National Security Division are coordinating closely with our law enforcement partners to fully investigate and prosecute this matter. The charges we're announcing reflect the strong collaboration of the agencies represented here. The U.S. Attorney's Office, the Department of Justice, would be unable to carry forth our mission without the invaluable assistance of our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners. I would like to thank the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and we have Chris Robinson here, Special Agent in Charge, and your Secret Service for the invaluable assistance they have been providing. I would also like to recognize the Palm Beach County and Martin County Sheriff's Offices for apprehending the defendant. Again, without the local authorities to assist in those things, it would be literally impossible to accomplish the things we're able to accomplish on the federal side.
Haitian Attorney General Omega Law, you think that's even remotely surprising? There's like 500,000 Haitians.
With the U.S. Attorney's Office
What's the number of Haitians in Florida?
And the counterterrorism section of the Justice Department's National Security Division for their nonstop work over the last 24 to 30 hours. Together, we will continue to work tirelessly to ensure accountability and the pursuit of justice. At this time, I will invite...
Haitian ancestry, Florida, 544,000. There are 500,000 Haitians in the state of Florida,
Ron Rowe will provide remarks before we open the floor for a few questions. And given that this is a pending matter before the court,
like, why
and
the
investigation
it's
is
not
ongoing,
even remotely
all comments
surprising.
will be limited. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. For a quick introduction, my name is Jeffrey Veltri, FBI Special Agent in Charge for the Miami Field Office. The FBI immediately responded to the scene here in West, and we are investigating this matter as an apparent assassination attempt of former President Trump. We view this as extremely serious and are determined to provide answers as to what led up to the events which took place. I want to emphasize we're just a little over 24 hours into this investigation, so we're going to provide as much as we can publicly while our investigation is still ongoing. We must also stress that the United States Attorney's Office is pursuing charges, and that limits some of the details that we can discuss publicly. Yesterday afternoon, Martin County Sheriff's Office took custody of Ryan Ralph, and he was transported back to Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Our FBI agents then attempted to interview him, and he invoked his right to an attorney. In the last 24 hours, the FBI and our partners have been dedicated to investigating the incident and utilizing all available resources. These efforts have included our investigative team and the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida, in conjunction with DOJ's National Security Division, are actively working hand in hand to pursue and subsequently execute search warrants. Thus far, the warrants include a video recording device, subjects' cellular devices, a vehicle, and other electronic devices located at previous known addresses. We are coordinating with the United States Secret Service to complete numerous interviews of agents on scene. We have also interviewed 7 civilian witnesses at the scene, and that is just the beginning. Our FBI's Honolulu and Charlotte field offices have initiated interviews of several family members, friends, and former colleagues of the subject. FBI has deployed several specialty teams and assets from FBI headquarters and our lab division in Quantico to include evidence and critical incident response personnel. The evidence response team is collecting and processing multiple evidentiary items. These range from the rifle, which is an SKS model with a scope and obliterated serial numbers, to 2 bags, the subject's electronics, and what appears to be ceramic tiles. DNA has also been collected from those items, which are being sent to Quantico for testing. We will also process the subject's vehicle for evidence. The Cellular Analysis Survey Team, what we refer to as CAST, conducted thorough analysis of the subject's cellular device locations. The CAST analysis aligns with witnesses' account of the subject's presence at the scene both before and around the time of the incident on September 15th. More specifically, we're continuing to conduct analysis and will be compiling the subject's movements in the days and months leading up to September 15th. Cellular data shows that the subject was in the vicinity of the golf course roughly 12 hours before the engagement with the United States Secret Service. Our investigative teams conducted a neighborhood canvass in an effort to collect and obtain relevant video footage. The subject had an active online presence, and we are going through what he posted and any searches he conducted online. In addition, we're going through media reports and public statements he made that he wanted to recruit Afghan soldiers and others to fight for Ukraine. The FBI has sent multiple requests to companies for returns on the subject's phone.
Dude, I love this
and social
guy.
media accounts.
I love this guy so much. He is so insane.
Returns and are waiting on additional responses.
Look, you can't fault a guy for being a go-getter. Okay.
Our investigative team is completing analysis of the returns and actioning leads as needed. And we anticipate continuing until the FBI knows the full totality of the subject's social media presence. By way of his background, in 2002, as the United States Attorney mentioned, the subject was charged and convicted in North Carolina for possession of a weapon of mass destruction. Law enforcement checks also revealed that from 1997 to 2010, the subject had numerous felony charges for stolen goods. I can also share with you that he was the subject
A weapon of mass destruction is a machine gun, an automatic machine gun. He had one.
tip to the FBI where it was alleged he was a felon in possession.
I'm going to toot our own horn here as a community, but we outflanked the FBI on this shit and mainstream media on this shit. We literally were covering all of this. Like yesterday, immediately, like 10 minutes after we found out what his name was.
On behalf of the FBI, I would like to thank the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and Martin County Sheriff's Office for their incredible work in actioning the witnesses' information and rapidly apprehending the subject. I would also like to thank the United States Secret Service, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida, the Department of Justice's National Security Division, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives,
on live TV,
and our FBI field offices in both Honolulu.
That's really interesting you say that because we do fact checking on everything.
Enforcement activity related to the subject. Your continued partnerships have been invaluable. Oftentimes in law enforcement, we tell citizens to be vigilant and aware of their surroundings. Yesterday, a citizen provided remarkable assistance, which led to the arrest of this subject. We appreciate the public's diligence in passing potential tips and information regarding the subject and this incident to the FBI. If you have any information, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI or go online to tips, that's tips.fbi.gov. With that, let me turn it over to the United States Secret Service Acting Director, Ron Rowe.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yesterday afternoon, this country was reminded of the heightened and dynamic threat environment that the United States Secret Service and its protectees face on a daily basis. Immediately following the assassination attempt of former President Donald J. Trump, on July 13th, the Secret Service moved to increase assets to an already enhanced security posture for the former president. In the days that followed, President Biden made it clear that he wanted the highest levels of protection for former President Trump and for Vice President Harris. The Secret Service moved to sustain increases in assets and the level of protection sought. And those things were in place yesterday. At approximately 1:30 p.m., former President Trump was playing golf during an off-the-record movement to the Trump International Golf Course. A Secret Service advance agent supporting...
How'd this guy know he was going to be there, though? God, Trump is so fucking predictable and so lazy and just, like, loves golf so much. This dude was like, yeah, he'll play golf today. It's Sunday.
The alleged gunman was on the public side of the fence near the 6th green. A layered approach of security is integral to the Secret Service's protective methodology.
Wait, he wasn't even on the private property? He was on public?
It's also the key to our success.
Wait!
As former President Trump was moving through the 5th fairway
across
the course and out of sight of the 6th green, the agent, who was visually sweeping the area of the 6th green, saw the subject armed with what he perceived to be a rifle and immediately discharged his firearm.
Okay, he didn't do nothing illegal. Fuck you mean, dude? Yo, this is Florida, baby. He has a right to bear arms on public property. Am I wrong? Excuse me. Excuse me. He's innocent.
Detail immediately evacuated the president
to a
safe location.
Free my man.
The protective methodologies of the Secret Service were effective yesterday. The former president's protective apparatus allowed for the early identification of the threat and led to a safe evacuation. The increased assets directed by President Biden were in place yesterday. These included the counter-sniper.
Oh, it's because he's a felon. Oh, it's because he had a scratched-out rifle with the serial number scratched out. Excuse me. I thought this was America, okay? I thought this was America, goddammit.
Unmanned aerial system elements. All of these entities were present yesterday.
Second Amendment has the highest
and
priority
while all
here.
of these assets were in place, as I've said publicly, we must satisfy the basic requirements of the Secret Service's protective methodologies. In partnership with local law enforcement, we did just that. And the agents' hypervigilance and the detailed swift action was textbook. And I commend them and our partners for an exemplary response in keeping former President Trump safe. And I will tell you, having served in local law enforcement in Palm Beach County, I can state that I am tremendously impressed.
Yeah, I told you he has the highest level
of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's
for the record. Of course he has the highest level. He's a former president, and he's already almost been assassinated. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
The response,
that's why the conservatives are being fucking so stupid crying about it. They're like, no, you don't understand. It needs to be even higher.
Who since July 13th have been rising to meet an unprecedented and hyper-dynamic threat environment. And they are rising to this moment. And I could not be more proud of them and the way they have executed, not only yesterday, but what they're doing today and what they are doing tomorrow and what they will always do because it is their duty. Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't realize trying to go out and hunt on public property was illegal. Sorry, didn't recognize that. Didn't know that we were living in communist China, okay? Wow. I thought this was America, goddammit.
Knew that Donald Trump would be on the golf course at that time. And was the golf course searched thoroughly before the former president's arrival?
So at this time, it was an off-the-record movement, meaning it was not on the...
Trump should get the highest protection. He does. And also, he shouldn't. He does, but he shouldn't. Why? Because he's not president.
The elements and the methodologies of the Secret Service. There was a front element. It did its job in sweeping ahead of the president. That's what identified this individual who was in that wood line. And the swift action of that agent doing his job, pushing out ahead, sweeping while the president was behind him several hundred yards and several holes away, out of sight from the gunman, did his job. And that was what alerted the detail. And the
in
swift
Florida,
action
you cannot walk around with a gun or else you will get arrested for attempting to assassinate a presidential nominee. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
Based on what I know now, and it's an active investigation, I don't have any information on that. So this was an off-the-record movement. It wasn't a site that was on his scheduled. It wasn't part of his schedule. So there was no posting up of it because he wasn't supposed to have gone there in the first place.
Have you briefed former President Trump on your findings so far, and has his campaign asked for any changes in his security going forward after yesterday?
If you don't mind looking around as well when you talk. Over here. Thank you so much.
Sorry. So I've had a conversation with the former president. We've explained and we've worked with the campaign. The president is aware that he has highest levels of protection that the Secret Service is providing him. We constantly evaluate based on threat. And yesterday what we show is that our agents and our protective methodologies, and there's a lot of tactical assets in place, things that have been put in place as a result of what happened 60 days ago, those elements are working, and that demonstrates the redundancies that we have. And so we constantly evaluate. We'll of course, look at this and see what lessons learned from it. But as of right now, we are constantly evaluating that threat. And if we need to ratchet up additionally, we will. Yes, sir.
Do we know when Ralph arrived in Florida in general, when he arrived in Palm Beach, the area?
That's a question probably for
specifically, and if he's been at the golf course prior to this scoping it out.
We're in the process of collecting a lot of evidence, and that will be part of that investigation to determine his whereabouts going back quite some time. That's part of the investigation as well. Again, that's going to be a little bit challenged until we're able to determine the serial number on that gun. So we're hopeful to be able to do that. We're still looking into that.
The highest level of protection that they would lock down the golf course, was that a miscommunication then, being that President Biden ordered the highest level of protection?
Do you want to take this, Sheriff? Go ahead. Okay. So here's the deal. When it comes to Secret Service protection, we provide the highest level. So, for example, yesterday, counter-assault team elements. I'm not going to go into the number of personnel that we have out there, but we have the highest levels from Secret Service. When we work with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, like, for example, yesterday, during that emergency action response, we had their local tactical team assets partner with our local tactical team assets. We had their helicopter up in the air, providing us 360 and situational awareness of the overhead for if there were any potential threats coming at us. So what we did yesterday was exercise our emergency plan based on the number of tactical assets and the highest level of protection that we are providing. The sheriff and I have talked. Now, clearly, when you go down Southern Boulevard right now and you try to get over to Palm Beach and you see the robust presence that's existing outside of Mar-a-Lago, the heavy uniform presence, the additional assets of the Secret Service. And for those of you that were here in 2017, when the president was in office, when you look at that footprint now and you look at it today, there's not much difference there. There is heavy uniform presence out there. And again, what I go back to is yesterday was an off-the-record movement, off the record. And the president wasn't even really supposed to go there. It was not on his official schedule. And so we put together a security.
Yo, why are taxpayers funding all this shit, dude? Why? Like, listen, I'm a small government conservative. I'm a fiscally responsible conservative, and I find this behavior to be abhorrent. I find it to be totally and utterly unacceptable.
It was in very close proximity to where he was spotted by the Secret Service. In terms of your first question, whether he was there earlier, our investigation is still looking to determine that.
Whoa.
Okay, another lock I made was the funniest outcome possible from all of this is that Trump won't be able to golf again, at least without like severe PTSD. And I find that to be really funny. Couple locks from yesterday that came to be true. Obviously, the charges that they have for him are like light in terms of a political assassination because, you have to prove intent. And I'm sure they will be able to. They've already subpoenaed his they've subpoenaed his phone and whatnot. Another lock was when I said he probably already has the highest level of security because he's a former president who's running for president who's already had an attempted assassination, even though conservatives are fucking crying about that. Yeah, that's it. This is just, it's another ridiculous story, and it's not going to go anywhere because Republicans kind of own political violence and also own guns in general. So there's not a lot of sympathy for them on this front at all.
We need to look at what our protective methodology is. We need to get out of a reactive model and get to a readiness model. There could be another geopolitical event that could put the United States into a kinetic conflict or some other issue that may result in additional responsibilities and protectees of the United States Secret Service. And so we are making information available to all of our partners. And I just want to say that the commitment of Congress to the Secret Service throughout the years has been tremendous. And we will continue to work with them and Secretary Mayorkas, whose support in making sure that we're getting what we need has been phenomenal. He is one of our biggest champions and our advocate. And so we're having these conversations, and I feel confident that we will get what we need. We have immediate needs. We have future needs, too. I need to make sure that our counter snipers are the best trained counter snipers in the world, that they are exactly doing what we need them to do, and that they match counterparts in the military in Tier 1 forces.
Dog, they couldn't even fucking snipe this guy.
To make sure that we get those for our training facility. We also have a necessary need to make sure that we're getting the personnel that we have. And that requires us to be able to have the funding to be able to hire more people. You can't just give me money and say, hey, we're going to make sure that everybody gets overtime. Because the men and women of the Secret Service right now, we are redlining them. And they are rising to this moment, and they are meeting the challenges right now. And if you look back at their body of work over the last 60 days, Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, the Republican National Convention in Chicago, a visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu to Washington, D.C., and to West Palm Beach, which Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office supported.
Wait,
then
we're protecting Netanyahu too?
Debate in Philadelphia last week. And for those
what?
in the media that have been to a national special security
no
event,
shot.
if you saw the National Constitution Center last week, what you saw was pretty much a mini national special security event with the number of assets that were on that perimeter. And so our folks are rising to this moment, but it requires all of us to be able to have good conversations and make sure that we're getting the Secret Service where it needs to be. And I'm confident that we will achieve that because we don't have an alternative. Success, we have to have it every day. We cannot have failures. And in order to do that, we're going to have some hard conversations with Congress, and we're going to achieve that.
Last question, one more.
Yes, sir.
Did he act alone? Did he have some kind of help?
At this point, we're still exploring that, investigating that. Our investigation will determine that. We do not
The
have
Secret
information that
Service
he's been
protects all foreign leaders when they visit. I like calling them the Secret Service.
Our investigation is still determining that. Thank you.
All right. Anyhow, nope, that's it. We're not gonna do any more. All right. You got a lot of information there. The last thing I will tell you is, like the director of the Secret Service says, you know, the president called me last night, President Trump. He thanked me for everything that we did along with the Secret Service. He knows we work great together, and he feels safe. That's important because he is.
Uh-oh.
And what we did yesterday
What the fuck?
proves that the system can work because the suspect didn't even get close to getting a round off, and we apprehended him, brought him to justice.
Oh, yeah.
very, very
Okay.
proud of that. Thank you, folks, for being.
Okay, so let's get back to it. This guy's neck is giving Thanksgiving. So is Trump's neck. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Donald Trump, more like Donald Trump. Am I right? He had another attempted assassination, is what the woke mainstream media wants you to think. What I think is an honest to God, patriotic American was exercising his Second Amendment rights on public property. Maybe he wanted to shoot ceramic plates. Maybe he wanted to go out and duck hunt. Okay? Who knows? Here at the Hasanabi broadcast, we look at narratives such as this one and we think to ourselves, is he actually Donald Trump's gay lover? Okay? Is he actually Donald Trump's gay lover? I thought this was America. I thought in the United States of America, you could potentially go out and exercise your Second Amendment rights. Turns out you can't. Turns out they've gone woke, folks. The conservatives, they have gone woke. Let's continue.
And out of a fence, he jumped into action, sending the suspect running. This morning, for the second time in just 2 months, the FBI is investigating an apparent attempted assassination on Donald Trump. ABC News learning the former president was on his West Palm Beach golf course with donor Steve Witkoff near the 5th hole when a Secret Service agent suddenly saw a barrel of a rifle sticking out of the fence just 300 to 400 yards away.
What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at.
I like that they also revealed how they I like that they gave pointers basically to the third attempt. You know what I mean? Like, if someone wants to try this shit again, now you know better type shit. The Secret Service famously is always one hole ahead. It's like, okay, well, that's, I mean, cool that you're revealing that, I guess. I don't know why. Are you trying to do this? They're trying to make Secret Service's job harder. They're like New Game Plus difficulty for them. They're like, come on, pick up the pace.
And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
Sources say Secret Service fired 4 to 6 rounds as Trump was rushed to a safe area. The suspected gunman went running, leaving behind an AK-47 style rifle, 2 backpacks which contain ceramic tile, and a GoPro hanging on the fence. An eyewitness catching the suspect fleeing.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag,
Snitch.
Which was great.
With that information, police were able to track down the car. This is the moment authorities surrounded the suspect in the vehicle.
We knew we had the car, everything lined up. We surrounded the car, didn't give him a chance to flee. He had no alternative but to surrender.
Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the man detained by police is 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Roth. Overnight, law enforcement descending on his home in Greensboro, North Carolina, going through the residence floor by floor, searching by a flashlight. Sources also say he had ties to Hawaii. His neighbor there speaking with ABC News.
I kind of like a shock that all of this is happening.
While authorities are working to determine a motive, sources familiar with the investigation say they are looking into whether Roth had any frustrations with Trump's position on Ukraine. He frequently posted on social media about the war, seen here in a 2022 video in Poland around the time he went to Ukraine.
And that we're going to stay as long as it takes to get every Russian out of Ukraine.
Trump traveled back to his Mar-a-Lago estate in a social media post thanking law enforcement for keeping him safe, saying the job done was absolutely outstanding. His son Eric Trump telling Fox News, "My father is running out of lives." It was just 65 days ago that Trump survived an attempted assassination at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president was grazed by a bullet in the ear, ducking for cover behind the podium. And this morning, there are questions once again about how a gunman could get this close to a former president and Republican nominee.
He's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it.
By the way, this guy is not Secret Service. He's the fucking sheriff. So I don't know why he said this, because the Secret Service was like, no, dog, like he has like the highest level of priority. And the Republicans ran with that. The Republicans basically ran with that and have been crying about the Secret Service, like facilitating in the likely assassination of the next president, the current president, and the former president, Donald Trump. All three are the same guy. And I just, I find it very strange.
The security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible.
So there's a heavy police presence here outside of.
I feel like this guy is glowing very bright, if you know what I mean. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, when I looked at his fucking when we first looked at this dude's social media, Ryan Ruth's social media, like I usually believe that the easier to understand narrative, like the simpler narrative, is probably the truth. But this guy's fucking footprint, dude, this guy's footprint is so nutty. Like, it's so insane that it almost feels disrespectful if, like, none of the federal agencies actually attempted to activate him at any point. Like, he is the perfect schizo guy that you coerce into doing something that you then apprehend before he does that thing. And then you turn around and go, yep, see, we did a great job. Like, he's got the motivation. He's a go-getter. He's got the ambition. He's got the weapons. You know what I mean? This is going to get clipped. I don't know why you're saying that. I'm not going along with this idea, but like, it does feel to me as this is wee woo speculation alert, but it's just like so perfect for like a patsy. Okay. And it's kind of funny because like it could work in either direction almost. I think it's just shitty timing, like you say. Bro was just trying to shoot some ceramics. Nah. I mean, I think. Wait, apparently he wasn't aiming for Trump. Breaking: the suspect in Sunday's apparent assassination attempt did not have a line of sight on Donald Trump and never fired his weapon. Wait, first of all, I said this already. If he wasn't even brandishing, or I mean, he was like if he was like the intent probably won't be super hard to prove for a guy like this, because he was literally fucking putting his goddamn phone number online. So if you're putting your phone number and your email online when you're adding Zelensky, I'm sure you've said some unhinged shit in your private correspondence where you can like immediately figure out the intent. But let's say you can't. Let's say you can't prove intent beyond reasonable doubt. Just a fun thing to think about, for me at least. Free my man is what I'm saying. Free Ryan Ruth. He did nothing wrong. He was just exercising his Second Amendment rights in a country where felons should be able to bear arms. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should Biden pardon him? Yeah. So his son said he never really talked about Trump. I mean, he definitely tweeted about Trump, though. He definitely did. Come on. And here's the already required FBI radar. FBI's suspect was subject to 2019 tip. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has said that the suspect was the subject of a tip to the agency in 2019 revolving around his possession of firearms. It was alleged that he was a felon in possession of a firearm, Special Agent Jeffrey Veltri said. Following up on the tip, the alleged complainant was interviewed and did not verify. I repeat, did not verify providing the initial information. The FBI passed on that information to local law enforcement in Honolulu. I mean, this guy was so on the radar that like he was the radar, brother. I mean, he literally was in Ukraine. He was actively trying to work with the Ukrainian Foreign Legion. Like, there is 0% chance that there was never a CIA operative that talked to this guy. Like, there's 0% chance. He was trying to recruit Afghan security forces that were NATO trained to go and fight in Ukraine. Okay? Like, it is virtually impossible for the CIA to have not ever talked to this man. I'm telling you right now. That doesn't mean that he's like a sleeper cell that was activated, or if he's CIA or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm simply stating that the likelihood, Secret Service says agents are overworked. I think you're giving both him and the CIA too much credit. No, I think he's like absolutely a nutty crank. Do you want his website? We already scoured through his website. He was a recruiter in his mind only. No, he was too much of a crank. He was too much of a fucking crank for the Foreign Legion to allow him to fight. Okay? A guy like that, who has already been barricaded in his place of work before with an automatic machine gun in like 2002, still having access to an arsenal, especially after we just found out that the FBI got a tip about him having a weapon as a felon, is hilarious. Okay? Is fucking incredible. It's the perfect American thing. I'll tip, my man did not talk to the cops. That's a good client. We pray for clients as conscientious as this. Also, you don't have to directly be a CIA sleeper cell or even a confidential informant or working with the CIA in any meaningful capacity to have been visited by an agent in general, especially if you're trying to go to Ukraine and work with the Foreign Legion. I suspect that the American State Department is probably aware of you, considering that he was literally interviewed by the New York Times. That definitely makes it likely. Okay, this guy wasn't on just one radar. I think this guy was on every radar.
Driver, take 2 steps to your right.
I do find it strange that like conservatives haven't already like started these narratives, by the way. Like they've also lost their 2-step, bro. Because like if I'm a conservative right now, I'm literally being like, the FBI is trying to personally assassinate my big, beautiful president. The CIA is trying to assassinate my big, beautiful president because he's attacking the deep state. Like, it's kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking to me that they're not going along with this. They're not saying like that because he is anti-deep state, because Trump is anti-deep state, that the deep state is trying to kill him. Because his social media footprint is nutty. Like, it screams. His social media footprint screams like he is obviously super mentally unwell, definitely a crank. But like the things that he cares about in terms of like Ukraine, like freeing Taiwan, like all this stuff is so in line with in his like weird complicated worldview. I think he's also simultaneously like an advocate for more peace by bringing Kim Jong-un to his house in Hawaii. Anyway,
Take 2 steps to your right. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking.
dude, it's crazy how chill they are with this dude. I swear to God, white supremacy is so goddamn powerful, brother. That's crazy. Like, he's compliant, but think about it. This guy tried to, in their minds at this point, tried to assassinate a former president. You have no idea if he has a gun in the car or not. He ditched his gun when he ran away, but you don't know if he has guns or not. I've seen random black people for like, a random black people stealing a fucking Kia get like worse treatment overall from the cops. That's crazy. Like they did worse to fucking Tyreek Hill, bro. It's the same state. That's crazy.
Driver, take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Come back. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking. Keep that long. Driver, take 2 steps to your right.
Okay, bro, come on with the
Now,
repeat.
Dana Marie McNichol in West Palm Beach, Florida, with more on yesterday's assassination attempt.
Haley, Ryan Ruth walked into that federal courtroom this morning smiling, shackled by his hands and feet. He was even seen laughing while speaking to his court-appointed attorney. Now, the judge presented 2 different charges: possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and a possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Combined, the judge says he could face 20 years in prison and $500,000 in fines. Fox is told additional federal charges are possible, but we understand that these charges presented today will keep him in jail. Now, Ruth told the judge that he only makes about $3,000 a month with no assets other than 2 trucks in Hawaii. The sheriff said yesterday when Ruth was arrested, his demeanor was perplexing. And that continued today in the courtroom when he was smiling and laughing.
That's awesome.
Made the stop and then at gunpoint ordered him out of the vehicle. He complied. His demeanor was perplexing in some way, despite the fact that we had numerous people out with rifles, uniformed personnel, a helicopter.
And we are just getting our hands on the affidavit, and a couple of things stood out to me. It said he was driving a car with stolen plates. Of course, he fled the scene, and officers were able to pull him over and arrest him on I-95. And then also, Ruth's mobile phone was detected in the area at 2 a.m., so the night before this happened, until 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, Ruth is being held in the Palm Beach County Jail, and he is expected in court for his next appearance on Monday, September 23rd.
Dana Marie, thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host Harris Faulkner and
New details emerging about
proud.
Ryan Wesley.
Damn, dog, he proud. He's looking kind of nice with it too. What
Ruth,
the fuck?
the confirmed suspect in the second assassination attempt of former President Trump, who is now in custody after Florida deputies caught his vehicle fleeing the scene. Our next guest is the sheriff of Martin County, Florida, where the suspect was taken into custody. And Sheriff Snyder joins us now. Sheriff, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Y'all did a great job yesterday. So proud of the work of law enforcement there, working with both counties together and with the Secret Service. Tell us about this suspect. When he was arrested, when he was pulled out of his car, did he say anything? What was his demeanor?
Well, we conducted what you have seen probably 1,000 times, a high-profile felony stop. out on I-95 northbound. We already shut the interstate down behind him, made the stop.
Dude, okay. Now I'm convinced they do not have a single sober sheriff in the state of Florida. No, I think it's illegal to be a sheriff and sober at the same time. What the fuck, bro? Why is every sheriff like this in the state of Florida, bro? What the hell's going on, dog? I don't know. He did fucking, hey, man. Hey, we stopped him. He was riding around town, thought it was crazy.
And then at gunpoint, ordered him out of the vehicle. He complied. His demeanor was perplexing in some way, despite the fact that we had numerous people out with rifles, uniformed personnel, a helicopter, interstate shutdown. He was as calm as if he was going to a Sunday picnic.
He looks like it in that picture. I know that you were there when Secret Service interviewed him. What was his demeanor there? Did he apologize? Did he say he was remorseful? Did he even speak?
No, he was quiet, and we had to be very respectful. It's a federal investigation, so we don't cross the lines. Our job was to apprehend the suspect. I mean, after all, he just tried to assassinate the highest profile target on the planet. It was extremely fortunate for all of us that he complied, because had he not complied, you'd be asking me right now, what were the circumstances of his death?
Right. Gosh, I'm thankful that's not the case this morning. Where is the suspect now? I know he's behind bars, but where?
Well, what we did is we turned him over to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. So I don't know where he is right now. Okay.
Did he say any? How did he know that Donald Trump was going to be playing golf? How did he have access to his schedule?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. We are the border county to Palm Beach. You can't get out of their county without coming through ours. But we don't have the intel from the.
Yeah, how did he know that Donald Trump would be golfing on a Sunday in the midst of a campaign? How did he know? Who could have foreseen that? A real brilliant tactician this guy was.
Scene there. It's hard for me to imagine how he got within rifle range of President Trump.
Yeah. Sheriff, what was your day like yesterday? I know you were all over the media. We appreciate y'all being so transparent with us. But when you heard the news, describe that for us.
Well, I'd gotten home from church and I was having a quick snack, and I heard the bolo to be on the lookout for someone who had just attempted an assassination attempt on President Trump. And as I was sitting there with that snack, I knew he's heading for Martin County. My snack is done. I started getting ready, and within a few minutes of that bolo, my crew was on top of that car and conducted the felony stop.
So great that a witness there at the golf course took a picture of the vehicle and the license plate, told the police department, they notified your county because they knew he was heading in that direction. What's your message to that witness? Well, my message to that witness is thank you. God bless you for what you did. You stepped up and you made it possible for us to apprehend the suspect, because in all truth, had we not gotten that description, he'd have just sailed right through my county, and who knows if or when we ever would have gotten our hands on him. You know, we have so much confidence in law enforcement down in Florida. I know the governor there supports you all, and we all support you all. Thank you so much for your work. Have you talked to the governor? I know he wants to do a separate investigation. I spoke to the governor's representative, who is the director of Department of Transportation. They're in charge of the Florida Highway Patrol, and he told me that from the governor, we could have any asset we needed. And actually, we had created quite a nightmare out there. We had to shut northbound, southbound I-95. We had to wait for a bomb dog to come and make sure there was no explosives in the car. It was a complex scene. We made it come out right, and we were able to turn the suspect over, but it was not an easy scene, I could tell you that. Yeah, but when I heard that the suspect got away, left the gun there and took off in this black Nissan, and then I heard not too long after that y'all had gotten him, that I-95 was shut down. I heard that Palm Beach International Airport was closed. So y'all did a great job. Thank you for apprehending him, and now we can hopefully get some answers. Yeah, hopefully we can keep President Trump safe. That's what we need. Thank you, Sheriff. God bless. You're welcome. Thank you. Same. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
We want to update our viewers here with what happened in Florida. We begin this hour with the latest on a possible second assassination attempt on former President Trump. A man is in custody after the Secret Service spotted someone with an AK-style weapon yesterday at Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach. It happened between the 5th and 6th holes, and Trump was around 300 to 500 yards away. Officials say they found a gun, a scope, and a GoPro, among other things, after a Secret Service agent fired multiple shots at the man, forcing him to flee. Later, sheriff's deputies made an arrest about 50 miles away.
And here he is. This is the suspect, Ryan Wesley Ruth, who's in his late 50s. He spent time as a volunteer in Ukraine after the Russian invasion. And our Holly Williams was in touch with him when he was overseas, and she joins us now. Holly, good morning. What else can you tell us about this man?
Hey there, Nate. Look, when I woke up this morning in London to the news that Ryan Ruth was the suspect in an alleged assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, I was stunned to recognize the name because I had been in touch with Ryan Ruth for over a year in the early stages of the war in Ukraine. Like thousands of other international volunteers, he apparently went to Ukraine to help. I do not believe he was fighting himself, but he had put signs up in Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, offering to help other foreigners find places in Ukrainian battalions. And that's how I initially came across him. I spoke with him, I think, once on the phone and texted frequently, and he put me in touch with several foreign fighters. Now, he seemed very genuine and passionate about supporting Ukraine. He mentioned plans to bring in thousands of Afghan and Syrian fighters, which I took, frankly, with a grain of salt. In an interview with the news website Semaphore, he claimed he'd been unable to get visas for those Afghan fighters, but we don't know if he was actually in touch with any Ukrainian officials at all. Now, I've met American volunteers everywhere from Syria to Ukraine. Some are experienced soldiers and very clear about the dangers they're facing. Others seem less well informed and their motivations can be quite confused. To be honest, Ryan Ruth did at times seem fairly naive. At one point, he sent me an audio track of a song he'd apparently recorded about the carnage caused by the war in Ukraine.
Leak it, leak it, leak it, leak it, leak it. If you don't leak it, oh my God, I need to hear the song. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have to. This is public knowledge. Like, this is in the interest. This is in the interest of the public. We must hear it. This is the one that I suspect he also, like, tried to get the Dave Matthews Band to also sing. Dude, this guy is awesome. This guy is fucking dope, dude. What a fucking character. Holy shit. What a hilarious character this man is. This is literally like such a uniquely American crank. Like, oh my God.
Ukraine. In November of last year, he told me he was back in the US, in Hawaii, and that was the last time I heard from him. Christine.
All right, Holly, interesting points there. Thank you for that information.
Go to Dana Marie McNichol. She is live from West Palm Beach. Good morning.
Good morning, Dana. As this active investigation continues here outside Trump International Golf Course, we're learning more about Ryan Routh, who has an extensive presence on social media, posting multiple times about the former president. According to public records, 58-year-old Routh had at least 100 run-ins with police, according to Fox Digital. He made his opinions very clear on X, where he posted about former President Trump, the war on Ukraine, the 2020 election, and other world events. His account even weighed in on the former President Trump's assassination attempt back in July, calling on Vice President Kamala Harris to visit those injured at the Pennsylvania Trump rally, saying, quote, Trump will never do anything for them. And
yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect. Like, he is the guy that I thought was not a real guy. Turns out there is one of them out there. You know what I mean? He's just like it blows my mind that this is a person that I feel like I invented in my mind, and it turns out he is a real person. Like, we have talked so much about how there is no real like NATO voter. There is no real like AUKUS voter. Like, there is one. This is the guy. And what's really ironic about it, and a chatter already pointed this out, is that despite being the NATO voter, he was still potentially going to vote for motherfucking Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. God, I love American politics. Like, he literally, bro, the one NATO voter who fucking hated Donald Trump, voted for Donald Trump, lifelong Republican, comes a Bernie bro for a brief moment in 2020, Tulsi Gabbard fan, starts hating Tulsi Gabbard, thinks Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to do a better job than Donald Trump, and is like thinking about potentially voting for them. Like, you can't make it up. It's just, he is the guy. It's so fucking perfect. Like, Biden was trying to desperately win that guy's vote, and he still was like, you know who I want to vote for? Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley. Which is funny because Vivek Ramaswamy was like super pro-Russia, but he was also extremely anti-China. Does he follow you? No. Chat, come on. This man's Reddit. First of all, this man is on Reddit. Secondly, he's known in like the NATO circles. And last but not least, he is vehemently anti-communist Russia and anti-China. Do you think that's the type of guy that would be a fan of mine? Are you insane? That's the type of guy who puts me on the fucking hit list next. He's incredible. He's incredible. His truck home had a Biden hair sticker on it. Oh no, he is like, I think everything that I just told you about his like political attitude is 100% correct. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think he inevitably like landed on being reluctantly pro-Biden almost. Like, he's fascinating. I think he is the guy that you see on like those CNN focus groups. You know what I mean? Like, he is that undecided guy that is so truly unique that it almost is a disservice when CNN brings them forward and they're like, so what do you think about the last night's speeches? And it's like, you'll be like, why is this person even remotely relevant in the political conversation? Like, there's not another person like this. That's him. I think he made his decision on Trump. No, he was definitely anti-Trump. But he did originally vote for Trump, which goes back to what I was talking about. I think like when he first originally voted for Trump, he probably considered Trump to be like less militant and more of a peaceful dove than like the establishment, right? Because he voted for him in 2016. It's another fucking former Trump voter, lifelong registered Republican. It's awesome. So a dumbass. I mean, yeah, of course, but many Americans are like this, not to the same severity as this guy. But I do find it really funny that like up until the very last moment, he was still like potentially angling to vote for a Republican, despite the fact that Joe Biden was basically communicating direct messages to this man's brain, you know?
Quote. Now, Routh currently lives in Hawaii after spending the majority of his life in North Carolina, where he worked in construction, including owning a company called United Roofing. The Palm Beach County Sheriff said this morning they're looking into his flight schedule and how he even traveled to get here in Florida. Right now, they say Routh is not talking to law enforcement. Now, a witness saw Routh run from the golf course bushes and jump into a black Nissan yesterday. He was then pulled over on I-95 in Martin County.
Also, I do think it's kind of crazy that he's like this much of a fucking crank, but has like the wherewithal to not talk to law enforcement, which is kind of crazy. I don't know.
Made the stop and then at gunpoint ordered him out of the vehicle. He complied. His demeanor was perplexing in some way, despite the fact that we had numerous people out with rifles, uniformed personnel, a helicopter.
And no charges have been filed just yet, but we do expect that's the next step. We're also looking for details about when he could possibly be in court. Now, we are hearing this morning that the active director of the Secret Service is here on the ground at the golf course and should be doing a walkthrough of the site shortly. Mel and Dana.
Dana Marie McNichol, thank you.
I'm Steve. The other thing I'll say is because of how uniquely online and how uniquely insane this guy was in terms of his like political opinions, like the broader politics of it all, I am now marginally increasing the likelihood that like he might have been activated by Iran in some way. Okay. Yesterday I said there's very low likelihood, but now I've moved it into it's still less likely, but it could be the case. Okay. I think it's still not likely, but it is, in my assumption, in my analysis, maybe a little bit marginally more likely than I thought yesterday. Especially because, like, I do believe the federal authorities when they say like Iran wants to like assassinate Donald Trump because of Qasem Soleimani, and I believe he has tweeted about, or not tweeted about, but like wrote in his book about how he wanted the IRGC to kill Donald Trump. Then the title of his book is Ukraine's Unwinnable War, Fatal Democracy, World Abandonment of Global Citizen, Taiwan, Afghanistan, North Korea, and End of Humanity. Yeah, he apparently asked Iran to assassinate Donald Trump in his book. What is this? Look at the mention of you in chat.
To hop on here and hypothesize about today's happenings, but after reading the tweets of the elongated muskrat and finding out there was a fundraising email in the inbox of the elderly less than 5 minutes after shots were fired, well, I'm right back like good crack, Jack. Let's talk about it. Now, obviously, you need to take anything I or anybody who runs the yap trap on this app says with the biggest grain of salt you got in your kitchen. But motherfuckers, this shit right here smells like somebody been fishing. Now, I can't tell you it was fake, but I can tell you my professional opinion as a retired wrestler is that I know Vince McMahon's handiwork when I see it. And this time, the only bump Trump had to take was in the golf cart on the way back up to the pool bar for some lip service from Laura Loomer. That motherfucker wasn't never in no danger. He just wanted some of your saved up dollars. And the sad part is, some of you motherfuckers sent that shit post-haste and paid the processing fee. The rest of y'all have you a wonderful motherfucking evening. As you proceed through your week, remember to keep those motherfucking boots out your motherfucking mouth. And remember that the golden rule will always remain, yeehaw, fuck the law. Friends, I will see y'all down the line.
Dude, incredible stuff. Man, these are days where I'm like, I fucking love American politics, dude. It's not really that odd. Schizophrenia and other diseases have a myriad of different symptoms and severity. It's common to simply have delusions. Things cannot be disproven to the person. Not every person with schizophrenia is non-functioning. Yeah. What? Another crazy leftist conspiracy is that after the failed Venezuela coup yesterday, small chance he was used as a distraction since our CIA keeps sucking. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone in America cares about like the Venezuelan coups not panning out. They care way more. In their higher order of priority, Americans care more about the top of the hour ad break coming 18 minutes into the top of the hour than they do about like yet another fucking failed coup in Venezuela. Okay? It's just weird to me because it's like, it's right there. This guy's footprint is so fucking Fed adjacent. And he absolutely, without a shred of doubt, has probably, given his like exploits in Ukraine, linked up with an agent at a certain point. So it's honestly shocking to me that the right wing has not been faster to be like, this is a fucking deep state assassination plot. Like, I'm kind of disappointed in the right for this one. I'd be more disappointed in you guys, though, if you didn't subscribe at the top of the hour to avoid seeing the ad break. Here it is now. He's not talking to the police. He's gone nonverbal. Yeah, he's got small bean autism, dude. I don't know why they're hurting my man like this. He just had a hyperfixation on AK style, the AK platform. He just wanted to show off his gun. He was bird watching with the scope.
As I mentioned earlier, Ryan Wesley Wouth had expressed support for Ukraine. He did that in dozens of posts on X. He traveled to the country. And in a newly surfaced video from 2022, he went so far as saying he was willing to die in the war there. Take a listen.
Putin is a terrorist, and he needs to be ended. So we need everybody from around the globe to stop what they're doing and come here now and support the Ukrainians to end this war.
Last October, Routh began trying to enlist Afghan conscripts to fight in the war using social media, presenting himself as an off-the-books liaison for the Ukrainian government. Newsweek Romanian journalist Remes Cherna met the man who'd been detained in connection with this apparent assassination attempt in Ukraine, actually met him on several occasions, stayed in touch with him, and told CNN he was surprised by Ryan Routh's alleged involvement in this incident. Saying, for me, it's a surprise because I viewed him as an idealistic, innocent, genuine person without any murderous instinct. And that journalist...
Bro didn't see his tweets about what he wanted to do to Moscow. He's like, yeah, I thought he was like an idealistic humanist. Yeah, he was, you know how like there's progressives except Palestine? Bro was progressive except Russian civilians. Like, we looked at his tweets. He was literally adding Elon Musk to be like, give me a nuke. Give me a nuclear warhead. I'm going to strap a nuclear warhead on top of one of your rockets, and I'm directly going to hit Moscow.
Joining me now via Skype from Bucharest. I think we were all struck by that observation. Walk us through a little bit more. The person who you met and then ultimately stayed in touch with, what was your impression?
I met him in my first day in Kyiv in June 2022. I've been there for 15 times since. He seemed to me to be an idealistic person, a genuine person who wanted to support Ukraine, and this is a good cause, of course. But you know, sometimes we can see this in history and in many other cases. Sometimes an idealistic person can become a fanatic, open to do horrible things for his cause. And it's important to understand that it's not enough to have a good.
I don't get it. If you find him to be like a humanist, idealistic person for like wanting to fucking assassinate Vladimir Putin, for being like a dictator and a murderous like dictator, why does that not extend to Donald Trump? Like, if that's your actual fucking principle here, if you're like, oh, dude, he was just saying he wants to murder Putin and like maybe a bunch of Russians in the process, but like he's like an idealistic humanist, then like, shouldn't that same morality apply to Donald Trump too? Especially directly as a consequence of Donald Trump openly communicating that he would not help Ukraine anyway, like routinely. I'm serious. Like, I'm not saying I agree with the guy. I'm simply stating that, like, how do you see what he's saying about Putin as not like unhinged, but then also see what he's saying about Donald Trump as like, or what he tried to do with Donald Trump as like an unhinged act? If anything, it's directly in line. Hassan, we're feeling really protective over Trump right now. Read the room.
Good cause. It's also important to serve this cause with democratic tools, let's say. And violence, it's forbidden, it's prohibited in democracy. We have elections. Honestly, I don't like Trump. And if I would be American, I would vote against him. But I want him to be defeated in elections in using democratic procedures, not violence or attempting these kind of attempts of on his life. Ryan seemed to me to be an idealistic, and maybe he pushed too far his ideas somehow.
So in terms of that, when it came to his ideas, you mentioned the former president. Did Ryan Routh ever bring up with you his feelings about Donald Trump?
No, as I remember, but he was a bit disappointed by the fact that Ukraine was supported by Western countries enough to resist to the Russian invasion, but not enough to win the war. And of course, this feeling is widespread in Eastern Europe or in Ukraine. Of course, Ukrainians are thankful for all those who support Ukraine, and I support also this cause. I think that Ukraine should win this war, should expel the Russians from all of the Ukrainian territories, and this is a good cause. It's an important cause, and we need a strong United States and a strong democracy in United States, because if United States is weak, everything bad can happen in the world. So this supposedly attempt of Ryan is weakening United States democracy. So that's why it's a very bad thing that he did. I hope that the support for Ukraine will increase in the next few months and years in order to help Ukraine to win this war.
You mentioned that someone like Ryan Routh, who you described as an idealist, you noted that sometimes an idealist can become a fanatic. Yeah. In staying in touch with him, in speaking with him over the last couple of years, did you sense that he was becoming a fanatic?
No, that's why I was very surprised when I saw in the news what happened.
There's something really funny about this, because the guy who they're talking to right now interviewed this man, the suspect. And in that interview, Ryan had his hair dyed in the Ukrainian flag colors. So for him to just be like, I did not read him as weird guy, but good guy, is like come on, man. You can agree with like Ukrainian emancipation and still be like, yeah, he was a bit of a fucking weirdo. Like, I don't understand why we're just doing this read where it's like, no, he seemed like perfectly normal guy who loved Ukraine a lot. Like, how the fuck did none of the journalists that were in contact with this guy go, yeah, this dude was a nutcase, bro? Like, how? He was. What the fuck?
I saw that he was open to do some, let's say, not so legal things. You mentioned a few minutes ago his attempts to, he's trying to get some people from...
Like, for all anyone's criticisms might be of the way that they operate in Ukraine, like, they saw him and were like, no, dog, you can't have a weapon, okay? Because they recognized this dude is mentally unwell. So why are like Western or Western adjacent journalists being like, nah, he was like a totally normal dude? Like, there's obviously a reason where the motherfucking Foreign Legion, which is desperate for bodies, looked at this man and was like, you cannot be trusted with a weapon, okay? You obviously cannot be trusted with a fucking weapon, dude. They straight up was like, yeah, nah, dog, we're good, I think. No, we're good. In 2022, they probably had enough people. No, they didn't. No, they were still looking for help. Like the bar for refusing someone's like help in this situation is, you know, refusing someone's help, you got to be really, really fucking like, you got to be putting out the weirdest vibes, okay? There was a Ukrainian chatter in the chat who was like, I'm Ukrainian and this guy cares about Ukraine more than I do. Like, he was a little bit out there, to say the least, okay?
Other countries to join to the Foreign Legion in Ukraine, but in doing so, he was open to do some illegal things. He asked me also to do some not so legal things, and of course I didn't accept such kind of things. So he was open to do for a good cause, to do bad things for a good cause.
Can you elaborate on that beyond trying to bring in other foreigners to fight for Ukraine? What else was he suggesting, and even suggesting that you do?
Yeah, he suggested something that anyway I couldn't do and I'm not able to do and I don't want to do, to help some people get the transit visa through Romania to Ukraine. But of course, I rejected this without question, without any other word.
Was there anything that he was suggesting that was of a violent nature?
No. That's why he said that he would die. He would die for Ukraine, or he would sacrifice himself for Ukraine. And it's true that there is a risk in Ukraine. Every day is a...
Bro, this is the problem. Like, liberals don't read like we should nuke Moscow as like an inherently violent statement. That's the problem. That's why they're like, no, he was just like totally fucking nonviolent guy. It's like, no, like, people who are predisposed with human rights understandably see the wrong that Russia is committing, okay? Understandably recognize the wrong and the great evil actions of the Russian forces by invading Ukraine, by killing a shit ton of people. But like, when your retaliation is like, yeah, let's fucking nuke Moscow, it's like, okay, but that's an unhinged thing to say. And many people do say it, and I think that's why it's like so normalized in terms of like how commonplace this kind of attitude is. But like automatically, when a guy says that, you're like, I don't know if he's like all there.
The risk in Ukraine. There is a saying that it states that you never know if your name is written on the next missile or drone there in Ukraine. But he has no military training. He has no military training. That's why I wonder how he thought that he can shoot someone. I understood that he had a gun because he has no military training. So that's why he he wasn't able to join to the International Legion.
Was he, when he wasn't allowed to join, did he talk to you about that? About how, I mean, was he disappointed? Was he upset? How would you describe him?
In that interview that I did with him in June 2022, he told me that he is unable to join International Legion because he has no military experience, no military skills. So it's in that interview. So I wonder how he thought that he can do something with a weapon. So I don't know details. I don't know how skillful is he, but I suppose he's not so well skilled in this in using a weapon.
What?
Remister, really appreciate your insight.
Bro said lame ass didn't he didn't have the fucking background to be able to successfully pull off this assassination. That's wild. All I'm saying is, in the midst of an ongoing invasion, understand that the Ukrainian military looked at this guy and was like, nah, we're good, dog. Like, they didn't even put him in a civilian position. Like, his contacts with the Foreign Legion are not official. He presented it as such, but it turns out he wasn't even like officially connected to any kind of like civilian liaison officer position within the Foreign Legion. Like, they literally were like, I'm good, man. So overall, I think it's funny that like people are making it seem like he didn't like read as like a total nut job. Obviously, I don't condone his action. However, they don't seem to know his Ukrainian soldiers would follow him to their end. His Afghan fighters are at his beck and call, and his friends in Taiwan are awaiting his orders. Wouldn't be shocked if he's just pretending to be detained right now, as his squad could easily free him at any moment. They're playing with fire, and CNN just lit the match. Stay strong. You are our hero, Ryan. I love QAnon LARPing for the fucking Ryan Ruth.
Reaction from Washington to senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. Weijia, we just heard President Biden speak a few moments ago. What did he say?
Lindsay, President Biden said that he thanked God that the former president was okay, and he also said that it was clear that Secret Service needs more resources, and he thought that Congress should respond to the need in the coming weeks. When asked specifically what it was, whether it was personnel or more money for other things, he said personnel. And so the president speaking out for the first time after the second assassination attempt on the former president as he was heading to Philadelphia.
Yeah, God forbid they ever feel scared of like likely gun violence, even for a brief moment. Holy shit. Imagine if they lowered themselves to the standard of like a fucking teacher at a public school, you know, or a child going to kindergarten. Imagine. Yeah, that feeling is reserved for school kids in this country, not presidents or former presidents or current presidents or people running for president. Those are God's chosen people. If you're like an average American, though, yeah, sucks to suck. Gun violence is a reality for you. It's going to happen at a certain point in your life. There's nothing you can do about it.
I'm wondering, and I'm going to go ahead and ask our control room if we have that sound now. Can we go ahead and play that?
I think they thank God the president's okay. I think we got a full report so far. We're down there tonight. But one thing I want to make clear, the service needs more help. And I think the Congress should respond to their needs if they in fact need more services. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Are you concerned more rhetorically in this environment? They need more personnel. They need more money. What kind of help do you say?
I think we need some more personnel. I think they're deciding whether they need more personnel or not.
So, Weijia, this is, we heard from a statement from the White House. Now we're hearing from the president. Do you expect that we may hear from this, for example, when he's in Philadelphia today?
Well, he could bring it up. I mean, he just talked about it, and he's going to Philadelphia for a totally separate event addressing the Nationally Historic Black Colleges meeting.
I want to reiterate that I don't think that Trump needs more Secret Service clearance, or I mean, a Secret Service security. because he's not the current president, he's the former president. I want to also state that if it were up to me, I'd lower his current security, okay? Because it's far too costly. I'm a small government conservative, as you guys know. I don't believe in spending, okay? I don't believe in all this extra spending. I think that it is abhorrent. We need to trim the fat, okay? I don't believe that the taxpayers should fund Donald Trump's golf outings just because he feels the need that he's going to fucking golf, okay? I don't know. Call me controversial, but I think there's better uses for that money, like giving it to Israel. That's what I think we should be doing. I'm a small government conservative. I don't think Trump deserves the extra funding. I think Israel deserves it. They're the most moral nation on earth. Ukraine deserves it? No. If we give that money to Ukraine, then you're teaching the shooter the worst lesson. You should instead give it to Israel. Whenever there's any sort of extra money in the couch, you know, in between the couch cushions, I think about how I'll donate it to the state of Israel, the beautiful state. Yeah.
And so I guess there's a chance he could bring it up again, but he tends to like to separate, issues unless he hasn't spoken on it already and it's new. So because he made these remarks, it's hard to say, but probably not, because he's addressing, college students and about historically black colleges around the country. So I'm not.
So this wasn't actually an assassination attempt, right? Media just saying that as a clickbait? No, dog. What? Yeah, it was. Like, he didn't get anywhere near it, but I mean, I think it definitely was. Now, if I was his lawyer, I wouldn't recognize that. If I was his lawyer, I'd say this is a law-abiding citizen who was exercising his Second Amendment rights. Who the fuck are you to tell him he's not able to do that? But if we're being serious, like, yeah, no, I think he's a fucking insane crank. He's an insane crank who was like hyper-focused on Ukraine, who probably wanted to attempt to shoot and kill him. Because in his mind, I think he was like, Trump is in the way of the thing that I care about the most, which is defending Ukraine. So he was like, I'm going to go and take matters into my own hands.
Not sure, but this is obviously going to be an ongoing issue with so many mounting questions about how this could happen again. And the vice president also released a statement saying that she condemns any political violence and that she's just deeply disturbed by what unfolded.
It's awesome because Trump is such a bitch. Look, the rhetoric lies as exemplified by the false statements made by Comrade Kamala Harris during the rigged and highly partisan ABC debate and all of the ridiculous lawsuits specifically designed to inflict damage on Joe's, then Kamala's political opponent, me, has taken politics in our country to a whole new level of hatred, abuse, and distrust. Because of this communist left rhetoric, the bullets are flying, and it will only get worse, allowing millions of people from places unknown. I love that he couldn't, even for the sake of this tweet, dial back the unhinged violent rhetoric. Like, he couldn't even, to make a fucking point, to make a goddamn point, just not say the quiet part out loud again. And he just could not stop himself. Immediately, he's like, the rapist, violent communist Kamala, bringing in rapists. They're raping our daughters. Like, immediately. It has nothing to do with the conversation, dumbass. Our borders must be closed. The terrorist, criminals, and mentally insane immediately removed from America's cities and towns, deported back to their countries of origin. Oh, my God. They're stealing our jobs and our wealth. The world is laughing at us. We cannot let them laugh any longer. Make America great again. It's like, bro, you can't be like, dude, how are you not aware of what you sound like at all? Trump and Biden spoke again. Joe Biden and Donald Trump spoke this afternoon after the second assassination attempt on the former president, per sources familiar with the call. Am I getting in on the Mar-a-Lago Twitter Spaces shit? Abso-fucking-lutely. Here's what Brandon had to say. Here's what pussy-ass Brandon had to say about the second time. By the way, the first time it happened, obviously he got like grazed at least. So there was a lot more interest in it. Second time, it's like barely a mention. By the third time, we're not even going to cover it in the news. I swear to God. They're like, boring. It happened already. He survived. Who gives a shit?
Again, I want to make a quick reference and the attempted assassination against our former president in Florida yesterday. I commend the Secret Service for the expert
Like,
handling.
this is a totally, this time there's no like addressing the state. You know what I mean? By the third time, he's literally just gonna be like, whatever. It happens all the time. Third time, he's gonna pardon the guy immediately. Fuck it, YOLO.
In the situation, and the former president is protected from harm, and the subject is in custody. An acting head of the Secret Service is in Florida today, assessing what happened and determining whether any further adjustments need to be made to ensure the safety of our former president. Let me just say, there is no, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Those of you who know me, many of you do. No place in political violence for political violence in America. None. Zero. Never. I've always condemned political violence. I always will in America. In America, we resolve our differences peacefully at the ballot box, not at the end of a gun. America suffered too many times the tragedy of an assassin's bullet. It solves nothing and just tears the country apart. We must do everything we can to prevent it and never give it any oxygen. Folks, now to today's event.
And we have new details on the suspect in the second assassination attempt against former President Trump. The sheriff who pulled him over is speaking out, describing him as oddly ambivalent.
I was at the scene, and he had a very, very kind of detached, flat facial affect. Like, it wasn't bothering him. And I was immediately suspicious. I thought, this is probably the guy. How does this guy get to a fence with a tactical rifle and a sight on it and get a bead on the former president of the United States?
Guys, stop saying he's drunk, okay? He's a Florida sheriff. He has to be. It's fucked up. It's his culture, sweetie. You guys are being annoying, dude. He has to be drunk on the job. It's just the natural state of a Florida sheriff. What's next? You're going to get mad at him for doing a hate crime? What has become of this country? We used to be a nation. A beautiful nation where Florida sheriffs could do hate crimes and drive drunk. And now people get mad when you see a Florida sheriff slurring his speech and shit. It's like fucked up. I'm skipping this part. I don't even want to see it.
They recovered a GoPro camera. They recovered bullet deflecting plates, and those plates were hanging on the fence. So we saw that in the images they released last evening. New reaction, Wall Street Journal editorial board. They say, quote, the failure of another assassination attempt against Donald Trump on Sunday, the second in 2 months, is a great relief, but also another warning about our deranged politics. Kayleigh McEnany with us now. Bit of commentary on what she's observing. Good morning to you on this Monday. How do you piece this together, Kayleigh?
Yeah, look, when I see that Wall Street Journal piece, I think people on both sides of the aisle need to stop back and reflect before they send out any sort of message on social media. Does this add to the politically caustic time we're in or detract from it before sending out a message on either side? I only hold the shooter responsible for his actions. That being said, the two assassination attempts have come against former President Trump, both of them. Really unprecedented to see this. And then in the immediate aftermath, you have someone like Rachel Venman, whose husband was the Trump impeachment witness for the first one. She comes out and says, no ears were harmed. Carry on with your Sunday afternoon. You've lost touch with humanity. And then when I think back more broadly.
Bro, this isn't like, dude, we're not talking about like a black grandmother who works at a fucking poll station. You know what I mean? Because Donald Trump has actually invited a shit ton of fucking harm to those people. And nobody gives a fuck. But those are average people. We're talking about Donald Trump, the president, okay? Former president. Like when people meet his standard and refuse to reckon with like how this kind of violence is happening to someone like Donald Trump, when he has brought about this kind of violence for normal people on a regular fucking basis as the former president, like, you can't turn around and be like, wow, we got to stop this violent rhetoric. Donald Trump hasn't stopped this violent rhetoric. Since the second assassination attempt, he's probably tweeted even more times with violent rhetoric than the last one. Like, what are we talking about? The times Trump has advocated for violence from Axios, May 2nd, 2022. This is the direct cause for violence, mind you.
If you believe hook, line, and sinker, things that have been said about President Trump, you believe that he wants a national abortion ban, that he is against IVF, you believe that he's for Project 2025, that he wants a bloodbath, that he called neo-Nazis fine people, all of those fact-checked as false. But then you see Hakeem Jeffries, 2 hours after this incident, tweet out, extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of a national abortion ban in Trump's Project 2025. He then puts out a statement condemning this. But then this morning is right back to Project 2025 language. We all need to look at our rhetoric.
Yo, this is not going to work. I mean, Democrats are fucking cowards. They're cowards of the highest order, but like to demand that they stop campaigning against Donald Trump is so insane. Like, how comfortable are you? How entitled are you, dude? It's wild to me. Also, speaking of violent rhetoric, Elon Musk literally was like, why isn't anybody assassinating Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Which was awesome. I mean, great job, sir. Keep posting. He deleted the tweet. I, much like many other people, of course, called it out. I said, this man is a defense contractor. Obviously, every single person was like, what the fuck are you saying? Elon Musk, a defense contractor, a multi-billionaire, literally fucking said, and no one is even trying to assassinate Biden / Kamala. That's so insane that's like the type of shit I would tweet, you know? That's something I would tweet, dog. You can't tweet that. Like, you're Elon Musk, dude. Are you fucking insane? And for the record, like, if I tweeted some shit like that, I would absolutely get a fucking visit from the authorities. Okay? So he deleted the tweet. And then this was his excuse. Turns out that jokes are way less funny if people don't know the context and the delivery is plain text. Yeah. And no one is even trying to assassinate Biden and Kamala. Even his dick riders were like, I would reconsider this post, sir. Shit's getting out of hand. We need to unite. No one has even tried to do so is the point I'm making, and no one will. He fucking doubled down on it. Like, what do you mean? It's not a joke. Yeah, he got a call from not the FBI, Secret Service, most likely, or maybe the FBI. No one has even tried to do so. Maybe delete the post and reword it. Seems that people like misinterpreting your obvious intent. Fair enough. I don't want to do what they have done, even in jest. Turns out my jokes are way less funny if people don't know the context of delivery is plain text. Well, one lesson I learned from this is just because I say something to a group and they laugh doesn't mean it's going to be all that hilarious as a post on X. Yeah. Random guy says this, he immediately gets a fucking door knock. Okay. Elon Musk says this, they maybe gave him a phone call, but he probably did get a phone call to be like, are you serious right now? Megaphonics, this is not your opportunity to send me all the previously deleted Elon Musk tweets, okay? We're done with the Elon Musk portion of this conversation. Let's get back to Fox News.
On both sides, not perpetuate mistruths, because we are in a very dangerous time.
We are. Let's talk a little bit of politics then. The ABC News poll that came out yesterday showed a little bit of an upswing for Harris at 52-46. And then asking who won the debate, ABC News poll 58-36 as well on that front. But President Trump still up in the swing states, or at least within the margin of error. And in talking to undecided voters who will decide the election, they thought that Trump won, or at least they did on the economy, and that's their most important issue. So what should we...
That's crazy. Undecided voters also thought Kamala Harris won the debate. The only issue that people thought Trump won the debate on was the economy. And even then, it was by very slim margins. That's so funny.
We make of all this.
You know, I think back to these personal anecdotes that are outlined in the New York Times of voters, and one such came from a woman named Judith. She was about a mile outside of the Harris event in Pennsylvania on Friday, and she said, I thought Harris did a wonderful job in the debate, but I need to know more about where she stands economically. This is a woman who works for the school bus system, makes $7.25 an hour. Her rent went from $675 to $1,000, and she finds herself supporting President Trump because of the economy. When you have a universe in that ABC poll of 3% persuadable likely voters, only 3%. On the margins, things matter. The economy is in Trump's column, and you have to wonder, when is the game changer moment for Kamala Harris coming? The polls are razor thin. She had her...
The funniest part about this is, like, this represents a failure of Trump's, like, bare minimum campaign strategy on all fronts. The fact that the economy is supposed to be a winning issue for him and like he can't coherently put together a solid agenda or even point to the failures of the Kamala Harris administration, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration, is a perfect demonstration of like how these guys have forgotten how to fucking run. Because why? Because they're too busy yelling about like the most unhinged thing you've ever heard of in terms of immigrants. Okay? That's the problem. The problem is they are so invested in their fucking little hug box on Twitter that they have deluded themselves into thinking that like saying Sig Heil and saying that like immigrants are vermin and parasitic is actually going to be great for the election. Like that's the only thing you need to harp on. It is completely ridiculous. Like, bro, run a normal campaign, dude. Run a normal fucking campaign. That's nutty.
Biggest audience at the DNC night 4, her biggest audience in the debate, 67 million people. When is she going to get another audience like that? Maybe never.
That's a good question. We'll see whether or not they go back and forth in this debate. This is a Fox News update now on what we're hearing from the former president. He spoke with Fox.
Yeah, the former president spoke. He said at the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break, and Americans should no longer have to pay $6 to avoid the top of the hour ad break. It was $5 under my presidency. It's $6 under Brandon's. You decide. Well, luckily for all of you, it's actually September, so it's 30% off. You can also get gifted a sub if you are lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
Fox Digital a moment ago, and he blames Biden and Harris's rhetoric, Haley, for causing him to be, quote, shot at. He went on to say, let me get the quote here, guys. He, Ralph, believed the rhetoric of Biden and Harris, and he acted on it. Their rhetoric is causing me to be shot at when I'm the one who is going to save the country, and they're the ones that are destroying the country, both from the
Please, capitalistic socialist in 2024. What is capitalistic? Okay, I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. Did anything change about the things that I'm saying for you? Yeah, I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. I'm a capitalist, Chink. You know, there you go. Just like my goat, Charlie. All right, two-based. Yeah, there you go. So now, do you agree with the things that I'm saying? Did anything change about what I was advocating for? No. Okay. Well, let's
inside
move on.
and out. They are the opposite. These are people that want to destroy our country, adding that it's called the enemy from within. They are the real threat, end quote. So really yesterday it was thank the Secret Service. Mm-hmm. You guys did a great job. I'm okay. Thanks for your support. And today it is much different after meeting with the acting Secret Service director this past hour.
I think he should question their rhetoric. Again, I only hold the shooter responsible for their actions, but I do wonder why there has not been more of a forceful condemnation. Both of them put out statements condemning this. We heard that chopper talk from President Biden. But after the last attempt, he gave an Oval Office address 24 hours later. That met the moment. Why is he not doing that now? Kamala Harris did not mention this in the DNC, did not mention the assassination attempt in the debate. I would love to see her mention this on the campaign trail. Let's all lower the rhetoric. I don't know that their response has really met the moment this time around, despite condemnations of paper statements, Twitter, and chopper.
That would be a powerful moment if she were to go.
She said, let the chopper do the talking. That's right.
Go to a microphone today and say,
yes,
cool.
She may.
She also has the power to convene. And I said this the last time.
It's pretty funny. It's like they have nothing, dude. They have nothing. They have nothing. They have literally nothing. They're like, oh, why didn't Kamala Harris talk about Donald Trump almost being assassinated at the DNC? Like, really? That's the best talking point you have? This is why I mean, like, if it was like a Haitian dude or some shit, like, oh my God, they would be doing the media circus, right? If it's like a non-white guy, God forbid, if it's like a non-white man, okay, holy fuck. You'll see what the talking points actually are. You'll see what a successful media strategy to weaponize the assassination attempt looks like then. But because it's a fucking white guy, they got nothing. Okay? It's a white guy, former Trump Republican, now never Trumper, second time a fucking lifelong Republican or a registered Republican voter has shot at or tried to shoot at the fucking former Republican president. But ultimately, they can't do the tone down the narrative, tone down the rhetoric shit. because they're the fucking violent rhetoric party. They also can't talk about gun control because they are the no gun control party. They are the gun violence party. So it's like such an awful way for something that is otherwise supposed to be helpful for your electoral chances to happen to Donald Trump over and over again, where he just cannot use this in a tangible way to improve his political outcome. The example that I used was like, I don't know, if like Kamala Harris is fucking, if Kamala Harris was like attacked by a migrant or something, right? Not to say that like migrants are inherently violent, right? Obviously that's not the case. But but in that situation, the Democratic Party would not be able to fucking message around that. People would be like, you deserve it. You did this to yourself, right? Even though technically, when you look at the actual fucking data, obviously migrants are not responsible for more crimes than natural born U.S. citizens are.
You know, you can ask for the Secret Service to come and give you a personal briefing.
Yes.
About what happened. I mean, Director Rowe went directly to Mar-a-Lago. She could ask for the same thing. I'm sure she's probably worried.
Per capita, they might be. No, dude. No. Per capita, they do not. No. I don't blame you for thinking that that might be the case given how the media talks about this stuff, but you're wrong. They are nowhere near, especially in totality, obviously, but also in per capita as well.
About her own family as well, but Donald Trump making his point in that post today, so we'll keep an eye on it, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And
Fox News Alert, moments after the second assassination attempt on his life yesterday afternoon, former President Donald Trump sharing his main concerns with Sean Hannity of Fox News as he was rushed back to the clubhouse at his golf course.
And Sean Hannity joins us now. Sean.
Why are you so charitable to motherfuckers who think like this? It's idiotic. Because there are more people that think like that than think like you. And my job, my primary responsibility is to get guys that think like that to think like me, and yelling at them all the fucking time, which I do when shit gets out of hand, right? When someone is like being an annoying little asshole, then yeah, I'll match that energy back. But my job is to try and educate people.
It happened at 1:30 yesterday afternoon, and you got a call before it even broke, before we all knew about it. Tell us that story.
It was really, actually, guys, it was not long right after the incident happened. The president was playing with a dear friend of mine, Steve Woodcoff, and I had gone to breakfast with Steve and another guy, another friend of ours, and we had breakfast together. The whole breakfast, Steve was giving me a hard time. Come play golf with us, come play golf with us. And Steve is near a scratch.
Bro, he's trying to, oh my God, he's trying to put himself in the story so bad, bro. Shut up, Sean. You were not fucking invited, bitch. You were not invited, Sean. Okay? I was almost there at the almost attempted assassination attempt. It's like, wow, sick, man. Cool. Like, it's not like Trump almost died, bitch. He didn't even get fucking shot at. What are you talking about?
Golfer, the president pretty much is a scratch golfer, and I'm like, I don't have time to play, so I'm not that good with you, good at golf right now. But I hope to get back to it. I used to play. And anyway, so he goes off and plays. My phone rings maybe before 2, right after the incident happened, when he was immediately back in the clubhouse, and he told me what had happened. And he said that 4 shots had gone off. They heard it. It was pop, 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 pop. That's how he described it. And he was absolutely, positively blown away by how quickly the Secret Service got on the president, got him off the golf course, how quickly tripods were set up by sharpshooters within the Secret Service, and how professional they were. He will tell his entire story tonight on Hannity. Great. There are a couple of things. I was listening to Brian's interview with the sheriff. The law enforcement in Florida is so much better than it is in New York. They don't buy into this woke, defund, dismantle, no bail law idiocy and insanity. They take law and order very seriously down here, and I praise the sheriff and I praise everybody in the Secret Service. But there is something we have to examine very closely.
Yeah, he was crying yesterday, but only crying because he wasn't there to dive in front of a potential bullet. That's it.
Mostly here. After a conversation I had with Governor DeSantis last night, it really struck me. I said, Governor, you've played that golf course. Tell me a little bit more about it. And he was describing how there are two holes, a par 3 and a par 4. The par 4 is a
And I told him, Mr. President, I'm nothing but a hole for you.
drivable par 4. And what he described to me, it was the area closest to where this fence is that we keep hearing about, that is surrounded in this treed area. And what is really disconcerting to me, if you go back to Butler, remember, we were told by the Secret Service, the people who are making the decisions what the perimeter around the president ought to be. Not the guys that are willing to dive on the president, put their life in harm's way and die to protect him, but the people that are responsible for making sure that perimeter is closed. There are some real serious questions, more than we had yesterday this morning, because they got within 130 yards in Butler, and they claimed it was a slope roof that turned out not to be a slope roof at all, and that's very troublesome that we weren't told the truth then, and we still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. We know that Connecticut Senator Blumenthal said Americans will be shocked, they will be appalled when they learn about the failures in Butler. But now we have a situation where we have a street about 300 yards from where the president was. And what's
another very funny aspect of this is that he can't keep shitting on Secret Service because Trump keeps loving Secret Service. He's like, the Secret Service is the best. I love those guys. They save my life all the time. They're incredible. They just can't put a coherent, consistent narrative on this. They can't spin it because it's not like a migrant. That's it. They're so one note. What are they going to do? Fucking complain about Democrats and their rhetoric? You can't do that. Zero people believe you. You can't. You are the party of violent rhetoric. You do it all the time. Trump is complaining about violent rhetoric while also immediately packaging that complaint with more violent rhetoric. So it doesn't fucking work, you know? It rings hollow. What is this? You wanted me to watch this?
You're telling me Donald Trump got shot at again by another white guy? This white-on-white violence has to end. Nah, I'm just fucking around. I love white-on-white violence. Or else will my girlfriend get all of her favorite true crime dramas. For real, though, isn't it kind of fucking crazy how within like 30 minutes of the shooter's name getting revealed, Hassan Piker's entire community had every single ounce of social media posting that man had ever done in his entire life. And then he tunes into Fox News and CNN and they're like, now, what are the ties that Iran could have to this shooting? What are the causes that illegal immigration had on this particular shooting? Like, dog, fucking none of them. This dude is the craziest NATO motherfucker I've ever seen. The guy who shot at Trump literally went to Ukraine to fight, and they were like, dog, you are over 50. We are not handing you a weapon. And then he came back to the United States and got a weapon. But seriously, though, it is insane that Fox News just does not know what to do with this shooting because it was a white guy. And even though it was a more left-leaning white guy, he voted for Trump in 2016. And he's more of like a never-Trump Republican than anything else. The one thing this guy even ever has to stand on is Ukraine. So Fox News hosts are legitimately out here just being like, you know what? This is what happens when we don't have respect for the police.
They
like,
did
dog,
say
this
that.
has nothing to do with that. You're so...
Yeah, they did say that. That was awesome. Everybody on Fox News yesterday was just like trying to fucking hammer in whatever their own personal pet project is. Like they should have fucking rolled out like an old school, you know, George H.W. Bush style Republican to be like, it's tort reform. The reason why this shooter actually decided to take the action was because of tort reform. These liberals are in the pocket of big law. These big lawyers, they're lobbying the Democratic Party.
So fucking stupid. Do some journalism. For fucking once, could our journalists just do some damn journalism?
Damn, fucking video about Hasanabi mentioned with
You're
like
telling me-
52K likes. God damn, dude. What is happening to the world right now?
You're telling me...
Why can't I see the fucking... I'm scrolling. It won't let me scroll down now. My TikTok desktop is just fundamentally broken.
You're telling me...
I can't click on the comments or scroll down. What is this? Maya wanted to ask a politic question during her IRL earlier.
He's not live yet, is he?
Is she crying?
Damn it. I'm always scared to call Hassan when he's live because he's always talking about something tragic and it looks like I'm out of touch.
He just says the N-word.
Yeah,
100%.
see, I'm not calling Hassan. I'm not calling Hassan. Not now. I have to call him when he's offline.
Bro, if she was a little bit faster on the trigger, she would have just heard the N-word, by the way. Like, that's perfect timing, honestly. That's perfect timing. But like, she was so close. She was so close to hearing something even more unhinged, okay? Wait, my TikTok might be wonky because I'm not at 100%.
You're telling me Donald
No,
Trump got
it's not
shot
letting me.
at again?
It's not letting me see the comments. It might be ad block. Yeah, she almost perfect framed it, dude. She almost one framed it.
Concerning to me is how is it possible that nobody was watching that street? And the way Governor DeSantis described this to me was, if you ever see a picture of Donald Trump playing golf, it's a photographer in that street area by the fence that we keep hearing about. That's the area where they're going to get the picture. Right. They're not going to get it anywhere else on the golf course. Well, that would also be the area that if you are a shooter, that you have the closest proximity to now a top presidential candidate, former president. And that kind of bothered me during the press conference yesterday when they said, well, there would have been more protection if he was the president. There was a recent assassination attempt just 60 some odd days ago. He's a top presidential contender. We're 51 days away from a presidential election. And you're allowing somebody with an AK-47 that has a scope on it to be literally within 300 yards.
I don't get what their solution to this is. Like, I get the Butler, Pennsylvania fuck up, but like in this one, he's doing a secret event that is obviously not so secret because he probably plays golf there all the time. But like it's a fucking go back to TikTok boomer next to related videos on top, click comments. No, I did that already. It didn't work. Stop. Are they taking, I like that they are basically saying what every American is aware of in their hearts, which is like there should be a gun-free zone only around Donald Trump. Like no one should be allowed to have a gun just around Donald Trump, though. Everywhere else, you can be gunned up, okay? But if Donald Trump wants to go somewhere, then gun control, please. For a 1 mile radius, we must have gun control for a 1 mile radius. Actually, we also need to do people control. We need to do gun control. And on top of that, we need to make sure, like, if you are, I don't know, on your way to work, we're going to stop you and we're going to be like, how do you feel about the former president? If you say, I don't know, then sorry, you are not allowed to go to work today. You have to redirect, okay? You have to redirect your trip away from here because you are not super pro-Trump.
Yards, which would be the equivalent, if you want a golf analogy, of a 1 foot putt or a tap-in putt. So there is a major failure here if they're not covering that street and making
like
sure.
There isn't. Ask Trump. He doesn't think there's a major failure. You tried to do this narrative last time, and he was like, "Nah, dude, they fucking saved my ass. It was sick. I loved it. Like that's it."
Sure, nobody gets in the bushes. Right. Let alone with an AK-47 and 2 backpacks and a GoPro and everything else we know that this guy had. It's scary. I will tell you this. I think as close as Butler was, this is so eerie. This guy got very close to killing the president. If it weren't for one Secret Service agent, spotting the rifle and taking the shot, this guy gets a shot off. This is a very different story today.
Quickly, tell us the story. I heard you share it on radio about the town hall, how your last town hall with Donald Trump was different.
Well, I thought at some point somebody might remember I said that story. I was probably not going to talk about it again. If LJ was here today, I was going to say to LJ, I've been doing town halls since before you were born. We all love LJ. And I've done all these town halls all around the country. I've done many with President Trump in particular. I've had events with George W. Bush, other presidents, and other presidential candidates. I think I interviewed all 17 Republican candidates back when they were running in 2015 and 16. And so I've had all these town halls. When I did the recent one in Harrisburg, I'd never faced a situation like I did here, where the Secret Service was adamant nobody in the audience could be on the floor surrounding the stage. That had never been the case in any previous town hall. Then we were told, yeah, we're not going to allow you to fill up the entire building. And there was a little back and forth with the campaign, and we were asking why, because that had never happened before. And then one other very strange thing happened that I had never experienced, which was the Secret Service, whoever was in charge of the detail that day, very nicely, great guy. I love these guys. I admire these guys. They're willing to risk their lives for people. He asked for a few minutes of my time to pull me aside, pull me to an area where we were both looking at the stage that I was going to be on, doing the town hall, where I would be sitting, where President Trump would be sitting, and then pointed out on the stage, I don't want to go into too many details, pointed out in the area 2 separate locations I could go if shots were fired at that event. In all the town halls I had done over all these many years, that had never happened before, nor had we had audience limitations like we had there.
Wow.
So that was pretty odd, which tells me, if I was going to make a conclusion, there are actionable threats that probably, this is what Director Wray is talking about every time he goes before Congress.
Indeed.
Does this guy know what kids go through every day at school? Not his kids. His kids are going to private school. Shouts out to that one chatter. He doesn't have to worry about that. What is this? Pakistani man charged in alleged plot to kill Trump and other politicians. Oh, that's awesome. All right, I'm skipping that. Let's get to some good shit. The 5.
Just moments ago, the FBI, Secret Service, and other officials giving.
Yeah, Secret Service successfully protects Trump. Maybe even go above and beyond in terms of like, shooting at a dude immediately and missing. Okay. And all the Republicans can say is like, they should do it more. Like, what do you want them to do? Just shoot at random people? They should just start shooting at random white people in Trump's vicinity that are registered Republicans, because so far it's 2 for 2. Is that the suggestion that you guys have? If someone is a registered Republican and is a white guy from any range, any age range, then immediately the Secret Service starts, they have to start blasting. Shoot first, ask questions later.
A major update on the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. Watch this here.
The subject, who did not have line of sight to the former president, fled the scene. He did not fire or get off any shots at our agent.
What we did yesterday proves that the system can work, because the suspect didn't even get close to getting a round off, and we apprehended him and brought him to justice.
It comes as we get chilling new details on the would-be assassin, including what he was doing right before getting caught. New records show that 58-year-old Ryan Ruth was lying in wait, spending nearly 12 hours hiding in a sniper's nest near Trump's golf course before being confronted. A Secret Service agent opening fire after spotting a rifle poking through a chain-link fence while the former president was golfing, causing the suspect to flee in a car until cops caught up with him.
Driver! Walk straight back! Keep walking!
The Secret Service director also addressing concerns that his agency needs more resources. Watch here.
We also have a necessary.
Yeah, dude, cops will take any and every opportunity. Cops will take any and every opportunity to beg for more resources. It's like, dude, what more do you want? Cops will not stop. It's like cops in Israel. Israel also very cop-like anyway, and also directly does train our cops. It's just like, you have to give us every fucking dime, okay? You have to give us every dime out of your paycheck directly. We need nukes. We need tactical nukes, okay? We simply do not have enough. We simply do not have enough. We need more. We always need more. There's always money that you can give us. You need to give us more money right now. If they're unsuccessful, they say, you need to give us more money. That's why we were unsuccessful. If they are successful, in this situation, they're like, you need to give us more money. We are successful, so we need it. We want it. We deserve it. Look at how good of a job we did. That's crazy. 30K viewers. Bet Hassan is wishing for more attempts. Dog, I had 30,000 viewers before Donald Trump got fucking sniped at. Well, he didn't even get sniped. Let's be real. The fuck do you mean? Like, in terms of doing political coverage, like Donald Trump being shot at is such a normal occurrence now that it doesn't actually meet the fucking, it doesn't actually give me a noticeable bump. Like, people just kind of expect it at this point. It's turned into literally the same as like a school shooting.
Need to make sure that we're getting the personnel that we have. And that requires us to be able to have the funding to be able to hire more people. You can't just give me money and say, hey, we're going to make sure that everybody gets overtime. Because the men and women of the Secret Service right now, we are redlining them. And they are rising to this.
It's like a car chase? No, because when I react in real time to a car chase, I get a fucking noticeable 10K bump. Okay? But school shootings and Trump getting shot at are so normal now that people don't even care. They're like, whatever. It's another, I guess it's another Monday, you know?
Moment, and they are meeting the challenges right now.
All right, Judge, take us through your thoughts.
Why do you watch Fox News? So I know what real Americans are thinking. I went down a Fuck Us On pipeline on YouTube last night and really haven't watched you for over a year. It's insane how much people just make up shit and clip you out of context. Yeah, because there are people like you who go down that pipeline and give them views. That's why. But anyway, no, I watch Fox News because I'm a Fox News watcher.
Well, this is the second assassination attempt in 2 months, and you're only lucky so many times. Now, the secret...
Judge Jeanine Pirro might as well be a fucking Florida sheriff the way she's always slurring her goddamn words, okay? Yeah, I'm a Fox News dad.
Service, you may recall, told us that the protection...
Third time might as well be the charm. Our big, beautiful president's under fire again. These liberals are out of control with their rhetoric. They're saying, and I'm going to issue a once-in-a-lifetime trigger warning here. They're saying he's a meanie bobini. They keep using his words against him, like how he said he's going to be a dictator for one day. They keep saying that because he said that. You can't do that. You're not allowed.
Donald Trump was upgraded after we received the Iranian intelligence of the threat against him based upon his takedown of Soleimani as well as Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. And but what we saw in Butler was a fiasco of finger pointing by the Secret Service as well as incompetence and reluctance by the Secret Service, although I would point out that we still haven't gotten the final report on this. But on yesterday, thank God that there was one Secret Service agent who was able to see the barrel of that rifle coming through a gated fence and was able to shoot. And God bless him for the fact that he had the ability to see and stop that. But I also want to be clear that I don't know that the attempted assassin, would have been caught but for a civilian who took a photo of the car and got the plate number. So the first question I have is there really communication, or is there communication at all between the local police and the Secret Service? Now, there also is, why there's still question as to whether or not Donald Trump is getting presidential level protection. There were no drones, okay? There were no dogs. And, he's talking about either they need more people or they need more money. And the Secret Service said yesterday that Secret Service is, quote, limited to areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So why doesn't the group that is so into reimagining the police and reimagining everything, deeming that it's possible for someone to be able to see through that hole where people all the time, including the press, take photos photos of President Trump playing on the golf course. Everybody knows that that's an area that is capable. It's a major thoroughfare. And at the same time, you know, don't tell me that you don't have the ability to secure outside of that fence. And they say that they can't close that particular spot. I'm not so sure that they couldn't have done that. Now, Biden says Secret Service needs more help. Congress should give him more help. I have an idea. Biden could simply...
They're wrong, and I'm unafraid to say it. They're wrong. Brave take, I know. I think that they should take all of those funds that they would allocate to the president so he can play golf again and give it to Israel. Okay? I think that Judge Jeanine Pirro does not have her priorities set. We should be giving it to Israel. That's really fucked up.
Every year that are going towards illegal. We don't even know how many are coming, but we got the money for them. And so don't tell me you can't redirect funds. And finally, what is the mission of the Secret Service? The mission of the Secret Service is supposed to be the protection of the president, his family, and dignitaries. I can tell you as a local DA for 32 years that the Secret Service is always competing on economic crimes with local DAs, with local attorney generals. Why is the Secret Service involved in 2009? They created an electronic crime task force in Rome, Italy, no less, where it was a public-private partnership to go after high-tech computer-based crime. Why are they doing everything that local DAs and attorney generals are doing, as well as every other three-letter agency is doing? And finally, get out of our business. Don't tell me you don't have the money and you don't have the time. Hire merit based upon merit and not DEI. And the final thing I'm going to say is if you don't have the right people, go to the military. You've got military.
Dude, you're like a brown woman. What do you mean DEI? Like, do you see yourself? What? I don't even know what Judge Jeanine Pirro is, but like, I don't think she's white, is she? It's always Lebanese, by the way. If there's like one, whenever you see someone, let me tell you, whenever you see someone, I don't know if she is. I don't know if she's just full-blooded Italian, but like, whenever you see a woman like this, almost always they're Lebanese. They're Christian Lebanese. What ethnicity is Judge Jeanine Pirro? Yes! Fucking called it, dude. Yo, I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you. Okay? There's a lot of secret Lebanese people out there, okay? God damn, I clocked it. Yeah, specifically Christian or Persian. Nah, Persians can't fucking hide like this, okay? Persians don't read. No, you're wrong. Persians wish they could read white like this, okay? Some Persians, not all. At least the ones that are in my near vicinity. Listen, I didn't just, your next level white races, I didn't just tell you that she was Lebanese. I told you exactly what kind, okay? This is a very specific thing that you see, all right?
Men who would jump at the chance of this, have the clearance that's needed to do this, then have the mental and physical ability to do it.
Yep. And Harold, I think that Secret Service, they started 1865 under Treasury Department. So financial crimes were a part of their remit at the time. But at this point, you have two things happening. One, the golfing expedition was off the record, not on the schedule. But apparently, Ruth was in the tree for 12 hours.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. First, I hope everyone had a good weekend, as good as you could have, and glad to be back around. I agree with some things the judges said, and I disagree with some things. I agree wholeheartedly, based on what the sheriff said, and the sheriff of the county said that President Trump phoned him and thanked him and all of the law enforcement for their efforts. And I understand that President Trump, at least according to the reports, has told the Secret Service, "Thank you for your efforts." I won't tread over things that the judge has already said, but there are a couple questions that I still have, and I hope we'll get them. I thought the press conference was constructive. They told us what they knew and what they don't know. Hopefully they'll come back and tell us when they do know these things. And one of 2, 3, 4, 5 things I want to know is, when did the guy get to Palm Beach?
This guy sucks. Like, he sits on the lip seat, but he cannot hold a candle to my goat, Jessica Tarkov. God, I'm such a fucking Fox News dad. Like, I'm unironically 100% a fucking Fox News dad. I have my favorites, dude. I just like that's when you know we've gone beyond the point of no return, okay? Like, I have my I have my favorite Fox News hosts, and I get upset when they're not on. Oh God. Where's Jessica? Did they fire her for being too woke? I think they fired her for being pregnant. And by that I mean I think she might be, wasn't she like pregnant or some shit? I think she's like might be giving birth. They didn't fire her, by the way. I'm just saying she might be on maternity leave. Or maybe she's just like doing less appearances for that reason.
How long had he been there? Was he ever at Bedminster, or for that matter, any other?
Her ex-husband, Albert Pirot, spent 17 months in jail for tax evasion, and even though he was well past his jail years, he was still pardoned by Trump law.
Place that President Trump has been over the last 6 to 12 months. And I think if we get answers to these questions, we will get the answer to, I think, the question that is reverberating in my mind when we learned that the president was safe and that a fire, I did learn in the press conference no shots were fired, the guy did not have a line of sight. But the real question is, was he working with an adversary, a foreign adversary? And we don't know the answer to that yet. People say that the guy is perhaps low level and not sophisticated enough. But normally those are the very people who sometimes may be either knowingly or unknowingly working with people they shouldn't be working with. Finally, this notion of resources, where I differ a little bit with Judge, and you certainly have a strong theory around this as well. I just think whatever resources
you want to know why this guy sucks? Because Jessica Tarkov actually presents like solid cases, and when she does, the content is better. This guy's also a man, so Jesse Waters isn't saying like gross ass shit about women enough. He will still say some gross ass shit about women. Obviously, it's Jesse Waters, but like he's not kind of directing it in his direction, right?
They may need, whether redirecting something from one thing to the other. If the Congress wants to come back, and I think that everyone would vote for an emergency supplemental to provide whatever the Secret Service may need in terms of more training, more people, whatever more munitions, whatever it may be. And one of the things we may know is if indeed if it's an off-the-record thing, which we learned this was, we know the president likes to go there. So maybe they should just sweep these things anyway. And if they need more resources for this kind of thing, that's what we should not only perhaps give them, that's what we should absolutely give them to make sure we don't have this problem again. But that's the nation we've ever
Move
suffered.
on. Shut up. You're saying the same shit that all the fucking dummies are saying.
Jesse,
You're supposed to at least present yourself as a dummy-crat, dumbass. You're sitting on the dummy-crat chair. Fuck.
the FBI special agent in charge of the Miami field office said that the attempted assassin was the subject of a previously closed 2019 tip to the FBI that Ruth was in felony possession of a firearm, which means that he shouldn't have had it.
So he's all over the FBI's radar. He was all over the...
Damn, this guy's good.